All right. Welcome to the Indie Corner. We're talking. Well, sorry. Welcome to the Indie Corner After Dark. We're not only talking about all things independent comics, but everything comics. I'm Mikey.
I'm Seamus.
And today, people, we're back at it again. Another episode of the Indie Corner After Dark, episode number 44 of the podcast. And yeah, it's another news segment, news segment type joint. We got a bunch of different nerd topics to talk about today. Because obviously we haven't done this since our review of Deadpool Batman, which was like a couple weeks ago, and a lot's happened since then. I was on vacation, so that's why we haven't really dropped anything in a little while. But yeah, we're back at it, back to business. And Seamus, thanks again for joining me as always, bro. It's always appreciated.
Yes, sir.
We got a lot to say on some stuff, but and obviously you'll know what we're talking about from the title. But yeah, people. But first things first, as always, if you are a subscriber, appreciate y'all. Thanks for coming back. But if not, please do us a favor and like and subscribe. Leave a like on the video, get them likes up, subscribe to the channel so we know, so you can keep track of when we drop new stuff and drop new content and new videos and stuff like that. We really appreciate it. And again, I will always say this every podcast because it gives me an excuse to use this overlay, because that's the only thing that StreamYard will give me for free. So appreciate y'all. But yeah, bro. So let's get right into it. Let's get down to business. But yeah, I kind of told you off camera, Seamus. Just started off not to scare you, but our first little small topic is it's kind of about you, because 2 weeks ago, a few weeks ago while we were in New York, you went to New York Comic-Con. So
that was only 2 weeks ago. That feels like it was like a month ago at this point. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was only 2 weeks ago, bro. So, listen, time goes a little slow.
Right.
But Seamus, I just wanted you to, since you were there, you went with our lovely boy Storm. You were there on Saturday.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, just give us a rundown of your time at New York Comic Con. What was your experience like?
This shit was lit. It was fun. I love it every year. I always, people have their gripes with it, and sure, that's fair. I always have a good time every year. That's why I try to go every year. But yeah, it was great. I had a good time. I bought a bunch of shit. I saw a bunch of panels. I got to dab up Scott Snyder. It's great. Every year.
I thought it was Williamson you dabbed. I forgot it was.
Who was sitting next to Williamson at that panel?
It's true.
They were all up there.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, you said you went to the DC. I remember you said you went to the DC panel. We'll talk about some of the.
Yep, I went to the DC and the Marvel panel, both of them. Very different panel feelings.
Yeah, what'd you get? What did you get at the con?
I got a Puchita T-shirt from Chainsaw Man, which I just wore to see the Chainsaw Man movie last Thursday, which is great. I got this Malorian Arms Johnny Silverhand pistol for when I do Johnny Silverhand cosplay next year, and then I got Trafalgar Law's sword from One Piece, because I'm also gonna do Law next year at Comic-Con. Nice. So yeah, and Law's sword was too big to bring on the train, so it's still at Storm's. I have to drive back down to get that at some point.
Yeah, I got you. Oh, that's funny. You left it at Storm's. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, listen, man. I'm glad you had fun. And look, I had to grab this photo of you looking dope as a helmetless speed racer. So,
dude, that costume got over with the crowd. There were a couple people who were like, they knew, and I was like, oh, hell yeah. There you go.
Did you get people to take pictures of you or with you?
Yeah, I got one or two asked for a picture of me, and I did it.
That's awesome. But yeah, man. Listen, I'm just always jealous that you went, because I haven't been since 2019, like pre-COVID. But I love New York Comic Con though. It's like it was my first convention. I went when I was 15. That was my first time I ever went, and I loved it ever since. But I will hopefully make my return. My triumphant return hopefully next year. Next year is probably the goal. But yeah, man, I just want to talk. It's a little icebreaker one. I want to know your experience. Cause I know you and Storm said y'all had a good time, and there was lots to do, and it was good.
Yeah, it was fun. The panels were great. You could say DCKO is a bit of a comic book slop, but let me tell you something. That DC panel was excited. People were getting excited over books, and then the Marvel panel felt like I was at a close friend's funeral. People were wowing, but they overall felt like they were about to cry.
Real quick though, do you want to? Because I don't have it on the topic, but do you want to talk about what happened at the Marvel panel that you were there? We'll talk about the DC stuff because that's next.
Yeah. So the Marvel panel, the Marvel panel was literally like, "Hey guys, yeah, the Ultimate Universe is ending, and we're all really sad about it." And everyone in the crowd kind of was like, "Okay, but like, why are you ending it then if you're all sad about it?" It was just everyone was just kind of confused. They were respectfully cheering their people, and you know what I mean. And everyone was getting their kind of stuff in, and then they talked about main universe stuff for a bit, but that was a little more like, they were just like, "Oh, Moon Knight's getting a relaunch again," and you were like, "Okay." And then like I was gonna say, I think the biggest news of the panel was that they're getting Joshua Williamson on Iron Man, which was crazy. Because the DC panel was first, so I saw him earlier in the day. So him walking out during the Marvel panel, and it's like, "Yeah, I'm writing Iron Man." It was like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, cool. Yeah. I remember you telling me that. And you're like, "Yeah, no, that's a kind of a big deal. He's going back to Marvel after years of not being with him."
Yeah, that's like, dude, that's DC's boy. Like, I don't. It's crazy at Marvel at the same time, but I mean, I guess if you're running DC, you also have the ability to be like, "Oh, I want to write Iron Man too. I'm not gonna limit myself."
Yeah, might as well.
I like Joshua Williamson a lot as a writer. He doesn't do. Okay, no disrespect to him. He hasn't made a book that I'm like, "This is incredible," but he consistently makes books that I enjoy and I think are good. So like him on Iron Man, I expect the same thing, where it's not going to be like groundbreaking or anything, but I'm gonna have fun with it. So that's exciting. That was probably the only exciting thing from the panel. Everything else was a little dreary and like, Ultimate Universe is ending. Yeah, this whole series that you guys love, it's over.
Yeah,
and you're like, "Oh, I don't want."
I mean, I'll say my 2 cents on it before we like close this topic out. But like, I honestly think it's a mistake, just because.
Totally.
Yeah, just from a business perspective, because it's the hottest thing that Marvel's that is out with Marvel right now. Like, people are reading Ultimate stuff more than they're reading main universe stuff. So, and at the same time, they're competing against DC's Absolute Universe, which is also just as good. So I don't understand why they want to stop while the steamboat's like fully running. I don't get it. Unless they want to like lose a fan base, or to piss their fans off. Because I don't think people want to go back to reading Amazing Spider-Man again.
No, like Amazing Spider-Man's not in any kind of state that it should be read by the common person, because they would just question why Marvel Comics hasn't been sold off yet.
Yeah.
But like, it's so Marvel Comics in general is in such a weird state. They just don't seem like they want to do anything interesting, and every time they do something interesting, they cut it off at the legs before it's had time to actually grow and say anything interesting. Like the Ultimate Universe, where you're ending it 2 years in. That's kind of crazy to do for a universe that has been selling this well and has been this hyped. And I read Denise Camp's entire thread that he posted about on Twitter about how it's great that they have an ending, and like all power to him. Great, I'm glad you guys storytelling wise feel fulfilled, but that's not gonna erase the fact that it is kind of prematurely getting ended for no good reason. It seems like, and by the sounds of it, from what Hickman was saying and from what everyone was saying, everyone was writing it expecting it to continue. So like, it kind of just feels like an editorial decision that Denise Camp's trying to roll with and just be like, it is what it is. I'm getting to write the ending. It's great. And that's what I'm saying. Good for him. It probably will be a somewhat satisfying ending, but I can't help but feel like there's storylines and money being left on the table for everyone involved that it's just such a questionable decision to make at this point when everything's selling so well.
Yeah, like, and the thing is, I thought it was like it stinks of an editorial decision 100%, but like I thought that like, you know, maybe Hickman just didn't want to do it anymore, but like, dude, just pass it off to like Denise, because Denise has a clear vision for this universe and clearly loves it and would love to continue it. But like the fact that it's ending prematurely like this, but just clearly I think it's an editorial move because Hickman didn't even know that they were going to cancel. They all, like you said, they all thought they were going to continue for like at least like a tab, like at least like write these characters at least a little longer. But yeah, I honestly think like 2 years is so early. Like they could have just done at least like year 3 sounds fair. Like after like doing another year of this shit, you can it feels right to cancel because we've had a good amount of time with this universe and we're used to settle in with this universe. So
yeah, 2 years, and then the Maker comes back, and then you have a year of like everyone at war with the Maker, and then it ends. Like sure,
yeah,
that feels like a nice 3-act play instead of like a 2-act hamstrung event that you're just like, wow, this just felt like an extended event we did. You know, because like you all the books, you know, were felt to. They all felt like really great setup that other writers or other runs were going to get more interesting depth added to later. You know what I mean? Like this all felt like such incredible setup where you're kind of jumping around and touching on all these really important things, especially with Ultimates and Ultimate Spider-Man, that like it was like, oh, at issue 50 this is going to get even more fleshed out and it's going to be sick. But like then everything's ending at like issue 24 and you're like, oh, well, I guess I just got like thrown a bunch of nothing. That was very fun and interesting nothing, but that ultimately, I mean, other than Ultimates, you know, because Ultimates was making, it was a different kind of book than Ultimate Spider-Man or Black Panther or X-Men or Wolverine. But, you know, by and large, it all feels very quick and it all feels very premature in its own way that you're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because, like, what? The only stories that might be revisited after this are, like, maybe Ultimates and Ultimate X-Men, and then maybe Ultimate Spider-Man. Because, you know, as much as I love Ultimate Spider-Man, like, you read all 24 of these issues, and you kind of are just left with maybe only a couple of issues that you're like, oh wow, that was really interesting, and that might stand the test of time to be remembered in like 10 years. But like the vast majority of it is just kind of like cool alt universe, like what if Kingpin was like this, and then just kind of leave it at that. It's like, that's a cool idea. Do you care to want to like maybe explore that with a universe that's not ending instantly? But
yeah, for sure.
It's weird. Just such a weird area. Anyway, that's what made the panel so dire, is that everyone was just like, this is
what
weird.
Are you doing?
This is so weird. What's going on?
I got you. But all right, so just move on. But overall, so what would you give this New York Comic Con out of 10? Like, experience, everything. What would you give it?
I'd say it's like an 8. It was pretty solid.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting. They scheduled the screening for the Chainsaw Man movie at fucking Sunday at like 5. So I was like, why would you do that? I would like to see it on Saturday.
But all right, for sure. Yeah, no, I'll definitely be over there next year. Maybe we even like do Indie Corner shit there next year. You know, maybe we'll do like a vlog or some shit. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool.
With the internet in the building.
Yeah, no, the Japanese internet is trash. It's notoriously garbage. But yeah. And I think next year's the 25th anniversary, so it's gonna be like, and then they're like hyping it up as being like a big deal. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But all right, man. So that was a little quick, you know, Seamus's New York Comic Con recap. Even though we're moving on from like Seamus's, you know, review of the convention itself, we're going to some of the announcements that happened during NYCC. The first one I want to talk about because Marvel had their Marvel television panel, and they showed off some stuff. They showed off. I know they showed off an exclusive thing for X-Men 97, an exclusive teaser for the next season that got leaked. That I saw little pieces of. You know, they talked about, you know, Vision Quest, but one of the things that they debuted at NYCC that honestly I keep reading is a thing because they haven't really been hyping it up as much. They dropped the trailer for Wonder Man, which is going to be the next Marvel television show that's dropping. I think later. I think like either next month or in December. Starring Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, your boy, aka your boy Black Manta, making his Marvel debut. And yeah, bro, I thought Seamus, I figured you already watched this already, but I haven't. So I thought we could do a little quick reaction to this if you don't mind. But before we even do that, what are your expectations going into the show? Because like, are you a fan of the Wonder Man character, like Simon Williams, all that, or like?
I like Wonder Man. This is going to be loosely adapted of the Wonder Man I like. Not to say that I'm going to be disappointed with Yaha's performance or anything, or his version of it. It's just this feels very different, but it's still got shades of the Wonder Man, you know what I mean, comic character. It is though more a character that has changed more to fit the story they're trying to tell, which I'm totally fine when they do that, because all comic characters are pretty transient. You know what I mean? You could really do anything with them as long as the story is good. So
yeah, I mean, for me with Wonder Man, it's like he's not really a character that I'm really like attached to. I just know who he is just from my my history just reading comics. But I had a few like old like 80s comics that had Wonder Man in them, like when I was a kid. So that's how I knew the character early on.
I just like him. Yeah, he's like one of the first villains that they successfully turn into a hero. You know what I mean? And that's what's interesting to me, and that's why I find him super interesting. And this is obviously, I mean, from what we know, not that, which is fine. Yeah. But
I mean, and it's like I remember him from like the Avengers United They Stand like show, and like there was a late 90s, that like weird Avengers cartoon that they had. But I thought he shined the best. Like I think the best interpretation I've seen of the character in other mediums was in Avengers of the Mightiest Heroes when they did the origin of Wonder Man in that, and I thought that was really good. That was good. So yeah, we'll see. I know he has. I mean, I think obviously they're going to go. From what I've heard, they're going to go a different approach. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, let's watch this trailer real quick for Wonder Man, right quick. So we're gonna get more of our thoughts after that. And then we'll play this if it works. All right, there we go.
The entertainment world is stunned today when internationally celebrated and reclusive filmmaker Von Kovac sprung out of retirement to sign on for a remake of Wonder Man. Mr. Von Kovac, could you tell us more?
Everyone is tired of superheroes. There is an opportunity to reimagine a whole genre of storytelling.
Have you thought about casting?
So, what's this?
Oh, yeah.
This audition you were talking about.
It's a huge opportunity. I'm auditioning for Wonder Man.
Did you hear about Wonder Man? I need to be in this movie.
Sorry, you crazy.
I was born to play this character.
Oh, you serious? Boo, they are already talking to Leo.
Yeah.
You just gotta go out there and crush it.
What's wrong?
I'm trying to come up with a backstory for the
This is
character.
so interesting.
Well, trust the words. Just show up and say them.
That's not my process.
Well, your process can go blow a spider.
The guy's killing in there, bro.
Where have we seen him before?
Pretty sure he used to be a terrorist.
Yeah. Let's
You
go.
can slate whenever you're ready.
Simon Williams, reading for Wonder Man.
Listen to me, Simon. The callback is happening now. Just be normal.
Normal man. The breakdown is go method.
Come in. Mr. Kovac will meet you in the living room.
So you all here to meet Von Kovac? Mm-hmm. Hello, everyone. I want to explore the place between fiction and
Wasn't he in
non-fiction.
Superman?
That's tight.
We're going to make the last movie on Earth. No one will have the balls to make another. And action! Any news from Von Kovac?
There is news, you'll be the first to know.
Unless you call me again, in which case I will never tell you.
January 27th. All right. Yeah, that is not what I expected. You know? Mm-hmm. I do think it's very interesting where it's like it's going through like kind of like, you know, the classic like Hollywood, kind of like doing like the classic Hollywood story, like this aspiring actor getting the role of a lifetime. Like that is interesting. Love that Trevor Slattery's back because again I love Ben Kingsley in as Trevor Slattery in the MCU. Yeah, this is just like because knowing who Wonder Man is in the comics, like knowing his abilities, his backstory, how much of a powerful character he is. Like I'm very curious on how we're gonna go from this to that. You know, even if they do something as like to do something similar to how he is in the comics, like power wise, you know, like how do we get from here as this actor to here, you know, to powerhouse in the Marvel universe? Like I'm very.
I mean, is it really that confusing? They're gonna give him powers as a form of method acting, like that's what they're gonna. They're making it so obvious by saying he has to go full method, and you know what I mean? Like it's just. He's gonna get powers so that way he's more like the role until he actually then becomes Wonder Man, and then he's like, oh, I'm not really even playing a role anymore. That's who I am, and that's the whole character arc. You know,
I like that. No, yeah. It is kind of like writing on the wall. You know,
I don't trust this to be good. I don't. I don't trust Marvel to do a self-criticism series well at all. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think that they're too deep in their own problems that you can't put out a self-criticism series while you guys are in like your worst era ever. Because it's like, okay, you're not fixing anything. You're just selling me off you guys winking and nudging at your own criticism, which is like, that's like so stupid. I don't want to watch that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If you guys were doing great and you were doing this, you know, series as like a little let's poke fun at ourselves, then sure, I'd totally be on board for that. But like, it's just like, it's like you know what I mean? Doing a meta commentary when you can't even put out a good regular movie. It's like, what do you I don't know how you expect me to think this is going to go over well. And like right here, like using AI in your like fucking, you know, it's just like, so you've already cut yourself off at the legs because you've already made your entire point moot by using AI in your fucking show. Like, it's just it's stuff like that it's like, damn. I when they talked about the premise for the show, it sounded more interesting than like them doing a commentary on it. You know what I mean? It's just a whole big like meta thing where it's like, guys, we're in on the joke too, and it's like, no, dude, you guys are causing problems that are making us joke about you. You guys can't be in on that joke. You guys got to fix it. So that way, then then we'll stop laughing at you.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, like, yeah, I noticed that I clocked the AI immediately, and I was like, I don't like this, but yeah, man, and nice to see the old boy from Superman it has a role in this. This is funny. But yeah, I mean that thing was like I even I find that they're doing a whole like self ridicule like type of thing, which is like kind of, I guess, you know, makes sense because like I know like the studio is like one of the like most like was one of the most talked about shows like earlier this year, as well as what was that show that I think the show that was similar that came on like on HBO Max, I think you know what I'm talking about. I forgot what it was called. It was like the studio where it was like making fun of the film industry in Hollywood.
That got canceled after like one season.
It did. Yep.
Yeah, that was the show that was making fun of superhero movies, and I watched like it was by the guy who did Armando Iannucci. He did a bunch of other, he did Veep and stuff like that. It was him doing like a joke about the superhero movies, but like it just felt like boring. Like I watched it and I was like, this isn't really that funny. And Veep was hilarious, which sucked, but yeah, this again, another one of those like, we're gonna do a meta commentary without actually fixing any of the problems we're commentating on. And it's like, dude, you guys are the richest company in the industry. You guys don't think that you can like fix some of the problems you're about to make fun of?
Exactly. Like you have all the power to do that, but yet y'all are too shallow to do so.
You had all the power to cast a proper Doctor Doom, but now where you're gonna commentate on a how, because like Simon Williams is a black man getting cast for a white role, and how that's like the big joke is that he's not going to ever make it because they're racist toward race swapping characters, and it's like you can't do that when your company is actively whitewashing characters. You can't then be like, well, it's so hard for black men to get roles, because it's like, dude, you took a role away from a Romani person and gave it to RDJ. Like what are you doing?
And the thing is, I clocked that immediately when they were saying that, he said he was born to be this role, and then the secretary starts laughing. I'm like, I feel like they're trying to play it they're trying to play the theme of, like it's hard for black actors to get roles, and like especially when the backlash of them getting them getting casted in right roles, but like knowing Disney's track record, I don't think that's going to be executed very well.
That's what I'm saying. We're all going to laugh at that scene and go, oh, they're just showing footage from inside Disney HQ. Right now, I'm just trying to cast a character who's not Black Panther or Black Panther adjacent,
And so, but moral of the stories for me is like I'm interested. I'll maybe check out the first episode, but I'm mostly just mainly watching just because I know that Yahya Abdul-Mateen II is gonna kill it because he's.
I love him. I love him.
He looks like he's having fun in the role, like so, but and also like Ben Kingsley, but I just don't know. Like it's just not grabbing me as much other than those three reasons. Like I just but I just hope the suit looks dope. The powers look cool, But this whole meta commentary of the hot industry, I don't know if Disney's gonna. I don't know if Marvel can pull it off. Just because of not only their messy track record the past, few years with, the past two phases, but just like Disney's shady business practices, not really, speak. They speak for themselves, like they're not really, like they're too shallow to actually actually take this type of storytelling seriously, So yeah, that's a Wonder Man for me. Pretty much, So I'm gonna say I don't want to give it a thumbs down. It's like it's just a middle for me, bro. Like I'm just like I'm curious, but like I don't expect this to be great,
Yeah, I'm interested but apprehensive. Like I really do want it to be good and interesting and incredible, but I also kind of know that it's going to be not as interesting as the premise is promising me. So by where I'm at.
I got you. But I guess we'll just move on for that. So Wonder Man's kind of like it's a meh for us, I guess. But just to move on to the next topic. Actually, I'll put the music back on. All right, we'll go into some of the DC Comics announcements that took place during New York Comic Con. That I'm actually really looking forward to talk about. So obviously you were at the panel, so pretty much exactly where I'm gonna be aiming at. So obviously DC, now that we have the Absolute Universe is a hit right now. DC All In has been an overall, I would assume, success so far with what the main continuity is doing right now. Obviously that's kicking off with DC KO, but they pretty much Scott Snyder and Joshua Williamson and all them pretty much gave us a tease of what's to come now post DC KO and All In, and now they're doing their next initiative, which is going to be called DC Next Level. And they pretty much announced, some of the titles that are going to be on this, that are going to be a part of this initiative, as well as some of the talent that's going to be behind it, with only 3 creative teams confirmed for 3 books. DC Next Level Here's a screenshot, that's shared all over social media. But yeah, so DC Next Level is gonna have pretty much 8 titles as well as some more titles, and all of them are gonna be like they're gonna be coming out around March 2026. And as far as we know, the titles that we have right now are Batwoman is coming back for her own solo title. Deathstroke, Terminator is coming back. Deathstroke is coming back, but I love how they're bringing the whole Deathstroke Terminator title back. Which I'm like, yes, love that shit. Storm the Nuclear Man, Shadow of the Bat, which is interesting. Zatanna is going to get her own series. Lobo is getting his own series. Etrigan the Demon is getting his own series, and then there's a new series with Barbara Gordon called Barbara Gordon Breakout. And the 3 creative teams that we have, one is a complete creative team, and the other 2 are like I would assume partial. But we know for a fact that Greg Rucka, who's a legend, known for his run of Batwoman, Wonder Woman, The Old Guard, and Black Magic, is returning to Batwoman along with the artist along with the artist Danny, who I've become a recent fan of recently with her work. She's an artist she's from Greece. Amazing artist. She's phenomenal. And I'm really happy that Greg Rucka is back doing Batwoman, because he is like the only writer to have like the best run on the character ever. And I like how
it was so funny, dude, when he came out, when they brought him out, like he was it was WWE, and my man had his whole entrance and everything. Danny got their own entrances, but he came out, and they're like, "What do you?" So tell us who you're writing, and he goes, Zatanna, and everyone cheered, and then he goes, "No, wait, I'm so sorry, that's a joke. I thought you guys were gonna be like booing me," and then everyone in the crowd was like, "No, that would have been like lit as hell," and he goes, "No, I'm back on Batwoman," and everyone was like, still cheered pretty loud, but it was just like. He tried to do a joke and instantly was like, "Oh shit! I accidentally completely just fucked their expectations up." But everyone was hyped. Everyone was very excited, and most importantly, Greg Rucka and Danny seemed super excited about the book. And Greg Rucka was talking about how he was like, "After I left the book, this was like the storylines I had left over that I just couldn't stop thinking about, and." It's been like almost 15 years since I left the book, and I just really wanted to work on Batwoman again and get these storylines that have been bouncing around in my head for years out. And I was like, oh, that's so lit. He's just pitching it. He's like, yeah, it's just a continuation of Batwoman. I'm going. That's it. So that was very fun, and the whole interview they had with Scott was very fun. Everyone just sounded super excited to be there at that panel. It was incredible. They all were just like, I fucking love and like Scott Snyder was just constantly like almost in tears the whole time going, I love this shit, man.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah, dude.
And the thing is, right, like I love the fact that like Greg did say that like he thought he left his Batwoman run abruptly ever since. That's because like that was pre-New 52, so like the New 52 starting up pretty much abruptly halted his story that he was trying to tell. So the fact that he's pretty much gonna say, I'm just gonna continue where I left off, great, do that. And luckily Danny, I'm very curious, I'm very happy to see. I know they dropped a preview page, like some artwork, and I forgot to include it, but looking at it here, we see it looks really good, and pretty much is going to be the return of the whole combo between Batwoman and Alice, which is awesome.
and she gets Alice gets got instantly.
Which
is like the whole kickoff for the series is that Alice fucking dies, and then Batwoman is like investigating her death in Greece, which is I'm like, that sounds sick as fuck. That sounds really interesting. But
I'm definitely gonna pick this up. I'm definitely gonna pick this up when this drops for sure. But then obviously next up was Scotty Young got announced. He's Scotty Young along with, I forgot to put him on here, with Hoya Corona, who they've been working on books together for years. They did Middle West together, which Middle West is a great book, along with some other stuff. He's announced new Lobo, which is, I think, for Scotty Young is perfect for him.
He said Scott was like, yeah, Scotty Young's on Lobo. The entire crowd was just like, both at the same time, like, what the fuck, and also like, that is completely the most perfect writer to be on Lobo.
Yeah,
like that's gonna be so. His art on Lobo is gonna be.
Dude, literally, like I literally was like, I got my wallet out the moment I saw the fucking announcement. I was like, damn, I'll take my money. That's amazing. And I saw like he posted on social media of him like wearing this Lobo jacket that he got. And I was like, this is fucking awesome. Yeah, I'm very excited to see what he's gonna do with it. I mean, he's writing. I don't think he's not really drawing, but him and Jorge Corona's artwork.
He's gonna be doing some covers for Lobo.
He can do some covers. He has to. But I know for a fact that Jorge Corona, their styles are kind of similar in a way, but Jorge Corona can do more. Like Scott kind of has like that innocence, that childish nature with his work. Jorge is a lot more like mature, so that's why that's why I feel like it works more. His style works more with Lobo than Scotty Young's style, but Scotty also has proven to be a great writer over the years. So I think they're gonna do a great job. He's insane enough to do it. So yeah, man, congrats to Scotty Young, and then Jorge Corona, and then the next one was Joshua Williamson is gonna be writing Legion of Superheroes.
Who else is gonna?
Yeah, no one else is gonna touch it.
If you've been reading his Superman book, the last 10 issues have just been a Legion book featuring Superboy Prime. He's literally been like every chance he gets. Hey guys, you guys like the Legion?
Wait, the Superboy Prime is gonna be the Superman of the Legion of Superheroes?
He already is. That's what just happened in the last issue because since Darkseid has taken over both the Absolute Universe and the timeline around the DC Universe, the future that is the Legion of Superheroes future is now the Absolute Legion of Superheroes future. So the Absolute Legion has come to the main universe and killed the regular Legion and fucked them up. So Superboy Prime gathers a bunch of different Legion members from a bunch of different timelines. So one is a Batman Beyond version of the Legion of Superheroes from the future and shit like that. You know what I mean? Where it's a bunch of those, and he has to form a ragtag group of random time displaced Legion members that are all from different times, and he fights the Absolute Legion. And he just got his ass handed to him a couple times by Saturn Girl and shit. And I was like, ooh. Okay. He had a funny line in the new one where he gets fucking knocked into the Fortress of Solitude by some of the Legion, and Lois is like, Superboy Prime, shouldn't you be wiping the floor with these guys? And he's like, Lois, I am in Superman's book. I would do no such thing as to overshadow his presence here.
I forgot.
I am in Superman's house right now. I am not going to just simply beat his threat for him. This is his book.
That's so funny.
That got me good.
Again, because that's the thing with me with DC Next Level. I've not read any of the main DC universe, main continuity books at all. So that's why I'm lost.
You're missing out. You're fried, man. You're done.
I am fried. I'm done.
You gotta turn in your comic reader card.
I've just been reading Absolute stuff, dude. Cause it's dope.
Look at you, common normie comic reader. What's this Absolute universe about?
Shut the fuck up! Don't
say read anything from Batman.
That is insulting. That is insulting. But yeah, bro. I will. But yeah, that's dope. So I'm not gonna read it, but cause I'm not really a Legion fan. But actually, no. With this version of Legion, because Superboy Prime is Legion, it's Legionnaires from different timelines. That's kind of interesting to me.
I don't know if that's going to be the book. That's at least what the Superman run is doing right now, because the Absolute Legion is killing everyone.
Okay, all right.
Well, I don't know if that's the book or if it's going to be this. The pickup is after this new Legion reforms. You know what I mean? After the Absolute Universe Legion gets beaten back by Superman after this, but we'll see how it all shakes out with DCKO, because that book is getting fucking wild right now. I don't even know where that's gonna go, but
yeah, bro. We're gonna talk about it in a bit. But
I heard also a rumor is that Jeff Lemire's book is Deathstroke.
I was gonna say that. So the other creators that were announced are Mariko Tamaki, your boy Denise Camp is coming to do a book. Jeff Lemire, James Herron, Tony Fleeks, which we just did a Tony Fleeks book. We just did Stray Dogs for Fright Month. and Jamal Campbell. I was thinking immediately, bro, because I already have some guesses on who I think are gonna do a book. I 100% think that Jeff Lemire is gonna be doing Deathstroke because I feel like that fits.
And Jamal Campbell on Zatanna, like that's it's just gonna
Jamal
be
Campbell's gonna be just
Zatanna. Jamal Campbell Zatanna because Jamal Campbell's writing Zatanna, but
yeah, I mean Jamal Campbell could either be I could either see him do Zatanna. I would want him to do Firestorm, but Firestorm, but bring this would be like the return of like Jason Rush, not Robbie Reyes, not Robbie Robbie Raymond. Sorry.
Yeah.
I want if Jamal Campbell's confirmed to do Firestorm, I want it to be Jason Rush because like he hasn't been in the comics in a minute. So, but you know,
shot him.
Yeah, honestly,
forever.
But honestly, it's kind of sucks that like it. But if they did do a Firestorm book with Jason Rush, it would kind of suck that like Chris Cross couldn't come back to do it because like I love Chris Cross's Firestorm.
Yeah,
you know, but it is what it is. So Jamal Campbell go either way. Can go so Firestorm or Zatanna. I already know for a fact. I will bet money on this. James Herron is doing the Demon. He's doing extra. Like,
I was gonna say it's either gonna be James Herron or Tony Fleece on Demon. It's one of those two.
Bro,
I think both of them would be great.
Rumble, Ultra Mega. He's known for doing monsters. He can he's literally. This is his wheelhouse. I'll text.
And then I was gonna say Mariko Tamaki or Denise Camp. I think are gonna be on either of the Bat books. I don't know which is which yet. But I feel like that's where we're headed.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think Mariko Tamaki is more suited for? Shadow of the Bat or Barbara? I think she would. I feel like she would be more interested in doing Barbara because she, like, due to the subject matter she writes a lot of like feminist stuff like that. So
yeah.
I
was just saying, I think I both flip flop because I think both of them would be interested in writing both of those books. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But Denise Camp on Shadow of the Bat would be interesting. That would be fun.
That'd be interesting. I think it's like, what did they? You were there. Did they give any hints on what Shadow of the Bat is about, or they just?
No, they didn't. The only book they talked about was Batwoman extensively. That was the only one that gave any kind of. This is what the book's about. Here's the little like hook of the whole thing. And all the other books were just like, you'll find out, but we gotta tell you Scotty Young's on Lobo. We gotta tell you right now. And I was like, Scott Snyder knows his audience so well because like. Yes, I did desperately need to know that Scotty Young's on Lobo because that's fucking incredible. You know what I mean? Like, he just was like, guys, I have to tell you right now. I can't keep the secret. Let it slip.
I'll let it slip just as once.
That was fun. Everything else, he was like, all right, I actually have to be quiet about everything else.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, like, when I hear Shadow of the Bat, I just think of, I don't know. I think of Damien. Like, I don't know why. Like, I just think
your mind's connecting it to Son of the Bat.
Son of the Bat. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we'll see. But again, there's more than titles in these. These are just like the first one they're announcing. So, I am very looking forward to see more news. That's what's up.
Yeah.
But so far I'm loving it. I'm loving the lineup. I'm definitely gonna be grabbing the Batwoman, the Deathstroke, the Zatanna, and most of these. Shadow of the Bat and Gordon. I'm questioning. Like most of these
books are interesting enough and have interesting enough creative teams on them. But I definitely am going to at least be checking out the first issue of every single one of these.
Oh yeah, no, I'm buying. I'm gonna cop like the first issue of like most of these. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. But Lord willing, Etrigan, James Herron on the Demon's gonna be fucking crazy. I just know it. But yeah, all right. So we'll just move on to the next topic. Just a segue. So yeah, now another announcement. You know, this was before DCKO dropped, but they kind of did this wild ass announcement that like kind of like broke the comic book internet a little bit, where they announced that DCKO is gonna have some guest characters that are gonna act as mentors to some of the heroes in the Dark Side. Like a Dark Side, Omega Force tournament that's going on in the event, and yeah, so like DC's gonna have the DCK is gonna have some guest characters, And the roster was not what I expected because I remember seeing the image of just Sub-Zero that they just dropped, and I was like, "Oh shoot, Sub-Zero's gonna join low. MK versus DC, let's go. We're gonna do it again. I'm for it." But no, they dropped a load of characters that I did not even think of. Know what I mean? It's not only just gonna be a battle of the DC universe, but it's also gonna be kind of an acknowledgement of the Omniverse, which is like crazy. But yeah, so they announced that these characters consist of Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat, Samantha from the book Underneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. I think won a Harvey at New York Comic Con while it happened. So congrats on the creators of Underneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. Vampirella from Dynamite, Red Sonja from Dynamite, which is crazy, Seamus. That's nuts. Annabelle from The Conjuring, which is like, why? Like why? But it's Warner Brothers. DC's on my Warner Brothers. Okay, gotta plug some stuff. I get it. But then the crazy one that was like the mic drop was that it's Homelander from The Boys is gonna be coming through as well in this. And looking at this version of Homelander, it's not the comic book version of Homelander. It's the one from the TV show on Amazon.
It's like good. I don't want to see the comic again.
Yeah, no.
I love Garth Ennis. I like that book. Those characters should not exist outside of that book ever.
I'm the opposite, bro. I don't like that book, but I love the show.
I do.
But yeah, bro. So now we're. It's crazy the fact that these are the polls that they're gonna be bringing to the table for this event. As mentors and as mentors to some of the heroes, which is crazy. But yeah, it's kind of nice that DC's kind of going full steam ahead with acknowledging that like not only does the multiverse exist, but also the Omniverse, where other multiverses, and which Omniverse is just a comics term for just like other comic book companies and franchises. They're all technically in one universe within the comic book. One universe, Omniverse, in the comic book medium that is the Omniverse. So, but yeah, Seamus, what do you think of this announcement, bro? What do you think of this announcement? You were there, so.
Yeah, they talked about this, and I was just like, really, like this storyline needs this? Because I don't think it needs this. I'm gonna be honest with you. You kind of already have a long-running, multi-year story arc that is being woven into this book that I don't think we really need the gimmick of Annabelle and Vampirella, trying to fight like this Batman. Like I think we're good. I think you could have just sold me off the fights alone of like Etrigan versus Lex, because shit like that you're like, oh. But yeah, I guess we'll see how it is. Scott Snyder seemed very excited about it, and I was like, you know what? If you're excited about it, you're writing it. Like, sure, I'll check it out.
And the thing is too, right? Like, I don't really know much about Samantha from Under the Trees, but knowing from what I heard from
Underneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees is a great book, and it's a very fun. It's basically just like Dexter with anthropomorphic animals. It's fun.
Samantha's a serial killer, correct?
Yes, Samantha's a serial killer who then has to hunt down and kill another serial killer who has become active, but they're way more like open and flamboyant with their actions. So Samantha has to kill them so that way she doesn't get discovered. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's literally like a Dexter-esque premise. It's fun. It's very fun.
I gotta read it.
It's you could tell Samantha's in here because Scott is like just a fan of the book. Like, this would be sick if Samantha fought the Joker. You're like, all right, man.
Here's the thing, right? Did they announce that there are going to be any more guest characters, or just these?
No, just these for one issue. As like a it's probably going to be during like the. Because Scott said there's going to be a bunch of different types of fights. It's not just going to be a bracket that's going to... And I assume this is going to be during one of those like big open arena fights where it's just like it's a free-for-all. You know what I mean? And then these characters just get introduced as a part of the free-for-all, or something like that. But
yeah. I mean, yeah, man, we'll see. Thing is, I'm gonna read Under the Tree just to see because like I heard the book is really good, but like I honestly was kind of hoping like. Okay, first I thought the character was Naughty Bear at first. I was like, oh my god, they're doing Naughty Bear. Let's go. Like,
dude, me and you are the only two people who remember Naughty Bear. They're not fucking ever bringing this.
Bro, Naughty Bear. I still have
that shit in.
My 360's in a box, and I still have that game saved on there.
That's why you turned out the way you did. That's what you were doing when you were 12.
That game fucked me up as a kid. But yeah, man. But like, it's really interesting to see like that character. And I'm like, yeah, if it's for one issue, that's fine, which is cool. I mean, it makes sense. But I just want to see some interactions. Like, I really want to see like the interaction I'm looking forward to with this is Red Sonja. Obviously, because I'm kind of high off of the movie that came out, and also I started reading the Kelly, the Gail Simone run. So I'm like, I'm kind of high off that right now. It would be a missed opportunity if they did not have Red Sonja interact with Greg Barter or Wonder Woman in this. That would be great. Vampirella, I have no idea. Maybe Swamp Thing.
Maybe like Vampirella and like because who's gonna be left at that point? It's kind of hard to even guess who's gonna be left at this point.
They're obviously gonna be doing like Homelander and Superman. Like that's a dub.
Yeah.
So
and then it's gonna be Zatanna and Annabelle. And it's gonna be like Joker and Samantha, and then like it's gonna be like shit like that, where you're just gonna be like, all right, I know this is gone. We're gonna live for an issue.
What if this is actually the Annabelle from the Haunted House movies?
Oh my god,
that'd be so wild.
Why are you bringing that?
But yeah, man. Overall, I mean, it's cool. I thought it was wild when I saw it. This is crazy. But like, I'm kind of in the same boat with you. I'm like, do we really need this? No, but like, I'm looking forward to see what they do with it. And if Scott Snyder's excited about it, then I mean, might as well see what they're cooking with it. So while they have access to these characters. But yeah, if I don't get my Red Sonja, like Big Barter or Wonder Woman like interaction, I'm gonna be pissed. Like, what's the point of me reading this? But yeah, man, that's pretty much it with that. This one I'm just adding real quick just because I forgot about it, which is shameful for me for forgetting about it because I love both this character and this comic book series. But one of the things they did announce, at New York Comic Con is the fact that obviously we are fans of James Tynion up in here. We love James Tynion the fourth. We love most of his horror stuff. I've been calling him recently the Stephen King of horror, right? Of horror comics right now.
You don't love him enough to do Tynion Tober.
We're doing Tynion Tober next year.
What the fuck's Tynion Tober? I wanted to do that shit.
Yeah, I let you suffer with Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash Nightmare Warriors. Like, the least I can do is give you Tynion.
Dude, that fucking sucked, and we couldn't do Tynion Tober. We couldn't do 5 bangers.
Oh my lord! But listen, next year, I promise. But yeah. So they got a surprise announcement that again with now DCKO getting all these characters from other franchises coming in. We got an announcement that Boom Studios, which is a great indie publisher that I'm a big fan of, is crossing over with DC to do a crossover that I did not expect. I don't think any of us expected, but they're going to be doing a comic. I don't know if it's a one shot or a series or miniseries of crossing over Swamp Thing with their successful series, Something That's Killing the Children, that written by James Tynion with art by Weather Deledra. And they're titling it, it's a brilliant title, easy, simple, it works so well. Swamp Thing is Killing the Children. Off rip, Seamus, because I know we were Swamp Thing fans up in here, and we're Something Killing and we're SIKTC fans up in here. What do you think it is, bro? I was like, again, another instance where I'm like, wallet, credit card on the table. I want it. Give it to me. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, probably gonna be fun as fuck. It's like we're probably gonna get Scott Snyder writing a Swamp Thing, which is gonna be fun. You know?
Oh yeah,
That's good.
I love his new 52 Swamp Thing. His Swamp Thing is really good. You know, so I'm happy to see that potentially happen.
But yeah, like because it's probably gonna be like oh dude, I hope they do it like they do with that like the Batman, the Marvel DC crossover where Scott Snyder does a Swamp Thing version of the book, and then James Tynion does the Something Is Killing the Children version of the book.
That'd be dope.
I mean? Some shit like that, do 2 issues. But like, listen, if we only get James Tynion writing Swamp Thing, that's also great too. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna be super interested in it because I like I said, we love Something's Killing the Children. Throwing Swamp Thing in there with James Tynion writing it, that's gonna be good. That's gonna be good shit.
And I'm really looking forward to seeing, you know, Swamp Thing and Rebecca Slaughter interact with each other. How it's gonna work? Because like, I mean, are they gonna do like a dimensional thing? Is this gonna be like
Swamp Thing's gonna show up one day and we're all gonna have fun with it?
Like you know, is this gonna be like technically like we're gonna do a thing where like they're in the same universe, they're in a different universe where both of these worlds exist? I don't know. I mean, it's either way, it's gonna be fun. I mean, I'm James Tynion. I think I love his horror, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him write Swamp Thing if he's gonna be writing it, because he's gonna make him. Cause I feel like that's what shines with Swamp Thing the most is that the horror aspect of the character, which is why I love, you know, some of the runs with Swamp Thing that go really into that horror aspect of the character. That's why I love the show so much. That one season that we got. So yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to this. This is gonna be fun. I'm pre-ordering the fuck out of this. I need to get some dope variant covers. Like I'm ready. I want this. Like let's do it. Yeah, all right. So we'll just move on to the next topic. Speaking of VCKO, came out, you know, last week. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? I don't remember.
It was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Yeah. So yeah, DCKO came out 2 weeks ago, and with the number one, and we read it, right, Seamus? You read it?
I did read it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we're just gonna be doing a review right quick of DCKO number one. And yeah, man, let me just get my presentation up again. So yeah, DCKO number one review. You know, and I think because it's been 2 weeks, so I would say we can just go full spoiler. I have a few pages that are kind of like the highlights of the event.
I mean, the panel went full spoiler, so and that was only like a week after the book came out.
That's true. But yeah, man, what did you think? I didn't know what to expect because I'm not reading the main continuity stuff right now. I've only been looking. I only know some stuff that I'm hearing like on YouTube and like, you know, from you. So so going into it, but I didn't really have any expectations. That the concept was cool. Like, you know, a simple tournament. Even though the tournament's a lot more, it's not really that simple.
Yeah.
Yeah. I reading it. I read it today, and I was like, bro, this is crazy. You know,
there's a lot going on, and it just feels. I mean, as of right now, it feels a little confusing, and it feels a little like you're like, oh, this is a lot. Like you guys kind of, like, no offense to Scott Snyder, but you guys kind of promised me it was just going to be a rock simple tournament. And issue 1, I'm already like, whoa, what's going on again? And it's crazy for me to say that because I've been reading all of like the main books, and for someone who's reading all the main books to go like, hold on, back it up, what's going on? You know, that's a little like, whoa, like I know what's going on, but I also don't know what's going. You know what I mean? I know the plot. I know what happened here. I just don't really know like why now or like where this is kind of like headed, or even like because like Superman, I guess, is technically the main character of this book, but like even then, it's kind of just like a very quick overview of the setup to kind of what Scott actually wants to write. So it feels a little rushed and a little like he's jamming a bunch of stuff in because there's so much stuff that happens in this first issue that's all kind of just like sped through to get to the parts that Scott wants to write, which is fair. But it does leave me being a little more confused and a little more just like, I guess I'm just going to have to roll with it for now. And then hopefully later it'll become a little clearer. So, yeah.
I mean, for me, yeah, it was a bit confusing, but I didn't think the concept of the tournament. I mean, obviously, we did know that like Darkseid was going to be a huge part of it. But I did like the fact that it is focusing on Superman's perspective of what's going on. And I mean, I got some pages here too, just to run it through. But yeah, I like the fact that like Superman was kind of like the main focus of this issue, and kind of so we're seeing the events of the setup for this tournament unfold through his perspective. Again, I do think that the brass knuckle made out of like dying suns is like fucking ridiculous, but I love it. So it's like it's so dumb that it's dope. And I do like the fact that the issue does start off kind of like in high spirits of them, like like literally opens up with this page of Superman about to like walk into this tournament, and the emphasis on like how it's going to be like a very very merciless, very very competitive kind of battle that's going to be taking place. But it starts off with just casual, just Lois, Bruce, and Clark out of costume, just hanging out, like enjoying each other's company. I thought that was a really nice way to start it off, kind of like in a very very like nice, like very like nice, quaint moment. Then everything hits the fan when like Darkseid shows up, and like I thought this is how I know that like I have not been reading the main continuity stuff, because I thought Darkseid was just chilling in the Absolute Universe the whole time, like running the show, kind of like the Maker in the Ultimate Universe. But I thought it was kind of wild that he just comes back so powerful to the point where like he's literally fighting like 4 places at once. I was like, that's kind of insane.
Yeah.
I do love the design. Like the design for this version of Darkseid is crazy. And they're talking about like how the Heart of Apocalypse is in how the heart, because the Omega effect, the Omega energy, and like there's a Heart of Apocalypse that's running the Ultimate Absolute Universe. So the fact that he's trying to do the same thing to this universe to fully conquer, I'm like, okay, that's kind of wild, a little confusing, but I'll take it. But I love
he just like appears, and it feels, no disrespect, but it feels kind of like the somehow Palpatine has returned moment, where it's like all of a sudden Darkseid's here and he's all over time, and you're like, I mean, I guess, like, sure. I don't know why he's here or like what's going on really, but sure.
And they kept gassing him up like, oh, like he's the most powerful he's ever been before, even though they fought them multiple times before. He's super powerful, blah, blah. I was like,
yeah, it's like, didn't you guys fight the Anti-Monitor?
Yeah,
man, I thought that guy was powerful. Like, what? You guys obviously Darkseid can't be more powerful than the Anti-Monitor right now. Let's be real.
Mm-hmm. And I love like seeing him come back in like the pages. I thought were really good. And yeah, I mean, and then like it kind of like then it goes into like the fucking like time council or whatever. And I was like, what is happening? Like, what is like these guys outside of time? You gotta be reading
Superman, dude. Ozempic Doomsday showed up,
which is I thought was like, since when does Doomsday skinny and is like a time master? Like, what is happening?
Doomsday's the time trapper now, because you know how the time trapper changes with time.
Yep.
Because depending on how the timeline changes, it's a different time trapper. And this time trapper is literally, it's like end of days Doomsday, like end of the universe. Like shit was about to hit the fan, and Doomsday became time trapper, and he also is like, he's fully able to speak sentences now, and he got on Ozempic. Look, he's looking pretty healthy.
Honestly, it's like, and yeah, like it's like the Quantum Quorum, which is like the World Forger, who I remember from that one Justice League arc where it was like Justice League from like the 4th dimension, where they were wearing those dope ass white costumes and like everything was perfect, but it was also like a lie. Because isn't the World Forger like the son of like the entity that was behind the Source Wall that got released during like Rebirth? I think.
No, World Forger's not Perpetua's son. World Forger is Hawkman's descendant. The like Hawkman's from Dark Knight's Metal. World Forger is Hawkman's very future descendant down the line, who's like an all-powerful world forger who then like ascends time and shit.
Sure. And then it was Time Trapper, which is Ozempic Doomsday, Grodd, which I'm like, okay, that's cool for Grodd, and
Grodd in Cy Spurrier's Flash Run, Grodd has been getting time power shit.
Okay, which is like I didn't know he could do that. Cause I thought it was just simple Grodd, smart.
Yeah, it just happened in like the last year. It's pretty recent, honestly. But.
Okay, fair. And then Booster Gold is back, and last time I saw Booster Gold was in All In, where he like got stuck in the old Absolute universe and had to
being tortured by the Absolute Legion of Superheroes.
Yeah, I remember that was like the big reveal. Remember we talked about it like back when it came out, where they had like the Absolute Legion was the first thing that he interacts with when he's in the Absolute universe. But yeah, it was that, and I thought that was like a little wild because again it just shows how out of touch I have been with the main continuity for a little bit. But I also did like the fact that next page here where they're like gearing up, they're trying to use their best weapon. Superman's got the sun brass knuckles, Cyborg's doing the defensive approach, Woman's getting all of her battle armor and gear, Batman got the Justice Buster. So I like how they all were gearing up. They were doing the stuff with the villains, trying to get them contained, them training up, them spending the last moments with their families. Like I like how it focused on like a 7-day period, as a lead up to this, this fight of all fights, this tournament of all tournaments. And then they, then the first test is they have to get past, these creatures and also other versions of this advanced version of parademon called Omega Demons. To like this isn't the actual tournament. This is just a test to get to figure out who's gonna be fighting who's gonna make the cut. Oh, that was a good idea. So that was really fun. Yo, real quick before we even move on, bro. They did Shazam so fucking dirty. Billy Batson got stomped up before he could even say the word Shazam.
It was so funny. I loved it. Because of course Billy would fail instantly because he's too busy showboating.
Yeah.
God bless Billy, but of course he's gonna be like, I got this, pal, and then just instantly get stepped on.
It was hilarious. Dude. I was like, oh, dude, I'm hoping shout out to my boy Lee, but I'm hoping Lee doesn't read this because he's a huge Shazam fan. But and also the fact that I got reminded that Damage is still around, Damage is still a thing.
Dude, them doing Damage like that also fucking made me die laughing. It was Damage's time, and then Damage.
Yeah. It was literally it was the three biggest holy shit, this is hilarious moments were Shazam getting clapped, Damage getting clapped, and then Adam Strange getting clapped. People are passing through, and Superman is trying his best to make sure that as many people get through the portal that is the end of the test as possible. Then the villains come back out of nowhere. There's holy shit, I thought they were contained. And it's Lex Luthor, Giganta, Joker, King Shark, Black Manta, and they kill Batman. So Batman's already out, which is makes sense because remember when you guys had the solicits, I didn't see a Batman versus whoever, but then I like how they kind of did the thing at the end of the bracket where it's oh no, Joker's the one that takes Batman's place. I was like, that's kind of hilarious. That's pretty much it. So then the end of the issue kind of cements what the roster is going to be, which we already know because they released the bracket ahead of time, which I don't know if that was a mistake or not. I feel like they should have released the bracket after the issue came out. So yeah, they pretty much announced the official bracket.
So here's the thing: I don't care about any of the bracket or matchups getting spoiled because. At this point, you kind of know the Final Four is going to consist of Superman, Lex Luthor, and then 2 other random characters DC wants to prop up right now. You know what I mean? For a fact the Final Four is going to be Superman, Lex Luthor, and then maybe Zatanna and I don't know, throw in Swamp Thing or Etrigan or some, you know what I mean? A joke fourth, and then it's really down to Superman and Lex. That's where it's gonna go. That's where it's gonna go. I don't really care that you're kayfabing me right now. I know it, but
yeah, the issue ends on 2 notes, and I'm gonna use this note for now because I'm gonna say this note first. This note first is because it was like the cliffhanger ending. Like that like Darkseid is in the tournament and that he's possessing Booster Gold. Booster Gold's like possessed by Darkseid, so it's like okay, that's kind of cool, I guess. Don't gotta do my boy Booster Gold like that, because he suffered enough. But that's cool. Yeah, like Darkseid is going to be a villain within his own, conflict that is taking place here. That's interesting. But the biggest thing that I want to talk about that was like, I think everyone was talking about this when this issue came out, and it was like, yes, and I know Snyder and Williamson have been teasing this for a while with DCKO. But I love the fact that he kind of Darkseid. I think it's like it's being narrated by the Heart of Apocalypse, which is what is causing this tournament to take place. Is the Heart of Apocalypse is a big part of why this tournament even exists? Because they need this tournament's pretty much going to the last person standing is going to be able to gain the access to the Heart of Apocalypse, so they can get powerful enough to face Darkseid, and maybe potentially reboot the universe, kind of, sort of, maybe. Who knows? But I love the fact that, while the narration is taking place before this page, they even said that Darkseid has some tricks up his sleeve with this tournament, and the fact that he's going to be bringing some horsemen from the universe that he's created to throw some of the heroes off their game. And we get this little page of his 3 horsemen, and it is none other than Absolute Superman, Absolute Batman, and Absolute Wonder Woman. And I was like, yeah, let's go. we about to see these motherfuckers interact. And honestly, in my opinion, knowing how much we've been loving, the Absolute Universe and seeing what these characters are capable of, for the past how many issues we've had with them so far, they're about to tear shit up. It is going to be dope.
They're only going to show up for 2 seconds. I guarantee it right now.
I know, but
they're only going to show up for 2 seconds, and they're going to disappear, and everybody be like, what?
They're gonna show for a few seconds, but I would not be surprised if they take some people off the board of the bracket.
I mean, no.
I mean,
I'm gonna be real with you. I think main universe Superman's stronger than all 3 of these heads.
Oh no, I'm not saying with Superman, but
I think main universe Superman's just gonna instantly be like, huh? Who are you?
They take they probably gonna take no offense to my girl, but Vixen off the board, or Connor Hawk off the board, or Hawkman off the board.
I think those guys are getting taken off the board purely by the virtue of who they are as characters. I don't think they're surviving too long. But apparently it's they're under the influence of Darkseid, so we don't even know if that's going to be them or if that's just going to be manifestations of them.
Yeah.
Or if they're gonna, because they're definitely gonna be under at least some form of mind control, given that Scott Snyder was basically talking about how it's these characters aren't gonna remember it. We don't even know if they're really these characters. It's more of these representations of these characters are being shown in the main universe versions. You know what I mean? So, interesting to see where that's gonna go. Funny that the 4 horsemen for Darkseid are Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Booster Gold.
Right. I think that's hilarious. But yeah, so overall, I mean, this issue I thought I liked it, but again, it was a lot. It was just a lot to wrap my head around.
It was fun. It was a lot of exposition and setup. I assume the rest of the issues are going to be cooler, like the 1v1s they announced at New York Comic Con. Stuff like that's going to be fun.
They're all getting one shots, right? They're all getting their own one shots. Each fight. So
because there's not going to be a main DCKO issue that month. It's just going to be every week 2 or 3 fights that are one shots.
Yeah, and people that don't know, here's the bracket. I mean, I'm gonna full screen it so y'all can just pause it on your own time. But it's the whole bracket that's announced. I remember last podcast we talked about who we think would win and all that briefly. But yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see. I know for a fact they're gonna let Harley last as long as possible because she's the 4th pillar of the DC universe, whether they like to admit it or not, into the popularity. So,
dude. She gets knocked out immediately. I'm sorry to say
it.
I'm serious. He got knocked out with like round 1, I think.
Oh wow, okay. Well, we'll see. Because did they drop some one shots this week as well for the event?
No, I don't think so. I think the one shots are only for December, which is the month that they're doing the 1P ones.
Okay. Well, I might check some of them out. I know for a fact the only thing that's relatively that I'm going to be checking out for sure that I know for a fact is the Mr. Terrific one, because they pretty much announced that like he's going to be forming his own team to go against to go against the to go against, like, you know, the dark side and all that stuff, to defend the world that's taking place, that's in chaos while the dark side, while this tournament's happening, called the Terrific 10. And I know that, like, I know Batman Beyond's going to be on that team and all that stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, we'll see what else. But yeah, so what would you give DCKO out of 10 for the first issue?
I give it like a 7.
Yeah, I gave it like a solid 6.5, 7. I thought it was good. It was just, you know, it was just a lot, but it got me intrigued though. It got me intrigued for what's to come next. So yeah. But yeah, all right, yeah. So people, yeah, please, if you haven't already, get your copy of DCKO if it's not sold out in any of this in your nearest local comic shop. It is a fun read. But yeah, all right, bro. So now we got that out of the way. So real quick, I just wanted to we're gonna talk about like two shows. Two shows that we're gonna just be dropping reviews for. One is just gonna be something relatively quick. The other one's gonna be, you know, more in-depth review. But so obviously, Gen V, you know, the show, the successful show on Amazon Prime, you know, the Boys spinoff, you know, pretty much had their season 2 ended last week, and I finished it. So, Seamus, did you finish it? No. Nada. Okay. How far did you get?
Fucking like episode 4.
Crazy. But yeah. So I mean, we're just gonna do like a little quick review of it. I mean, you got up to episode 4, so I'm trying to think even where you were at. What was the last thing you saw?
I know what happens in the ending and stuff and all that. I'm not.
Oh, they're just not gonna finish. Damn, bro. Okay. Well,
no, I didn't really like it. No.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, I'm opposite end of the boat. I actually thought this was quite good. Not as good as the first season, but I really enjoyed it. Again, it's pretty much just, yeah, it takes place where it left off from season 1. Where it's just, you know, them getting out of I forgot the name of the prison that the juvenile soups are put in, but they, you know, they escape and they go back into God U, and like Thomas Godolkin is a really big part of the show. He's a really big part of the show. Then we actually get to see who he eventually, like, who or what he is. Really cool. We get to see Marie, pretty much them insinuating that she's going to be the crux to defeating Homelander in the final season of The Boys, due to her past and due to her elevation in her powers. All the characters had some good arcs. Definitely love Sam a lot more. I thought Sam had a great. I really liked Sam a lot in this season. Especially when we get to know and more about, you know, where his psychosis comes from, because he is insane. In the first season, but that was really cool, and he actually gets he gets a lot of good growth. Same with Cricket as well. And again, our boy girl, our bi-gender Jordan Lee's great in this as well. And they really showcase Jordan Lee's vulnerability in this a lot, especially when it comes to Marie. So yeah, it was. I thought that Jordan had a really good arc in this as well. But most importantly, I feel like, and obviously you know this, James, because you've watched enough of it already to know. But Andre Abrams, who was played by the late great Chance Perdomo, real quick, Chance Perdomo. You know, his character, the way they handle Andre's character, they don't recast him. They kill him off. They kill him off screen, but they do it in a way that kind of pays tribute to Chance, and he has a pretty significant shadow across the entire season. It's paid. It's done very. It's written very well, and it's done pretty tastefully and respectfully. So I really love that a lot, and then it ties into his dad, Polarity, who has a really decent role in this as well. And it kind of has it has an important role to play towards the end with the antagonist. And then we get some good cameos. It's the boys. We get some good cameos, Easter eggs. Some characters come back. As well, like Starlight. The Deep makes a brief appearance. Sister Stage has a big part of the show. Is a big part of the later half of the season. Like she when she comes in, I love Susan Hayward as Sister Stage a lot. In the boys stuff. And yeah, I mean the season pretty much ends with it pretty much ends with the plan of they're going to be that the Guardians of Godolphin are going to be a big part of the resistance, and Marie is going to be the linchpin to stopping Homelander in season 5. Rightfully so, because I think Marie Moreau's a great character, and she also has a lot of good. I really like Marie's arc in this a lot. But yeah, man. I mean, the boys is good. Oh yeah, and Kate, that trifling. I can't say this word. Kate, man, Kate being trifling, but she gets some decent redemption in this season too. Yeah, I mean it's great. I mean, overall I think this season was really good. Again, I think this season 1 was better and much tighter in terms of the story and the storyline, but I do like how it literally is just this is the breathing room between the boys season 1, boys season 4, and boys season 5. So it's just gonna set up what the significance of these characters, in the final showdown against Homelander and Vought. So I'm really looking forward to that. And yeah, I mean, Shiz, I would encourage you to finish it. I mean, it's good. I mean, I recommend it, but again, it is what it is. But
I felt like I was halfway through the season, and I felt like this season could have been an episode.
Crazy. So crazy.
This could have been like 2 episodes, and I would have been like, okay, all right.
Crazy.
Maybe this should have just been like an added episode to the last season of The Boys, and just left it at that.
Nah, I disagree.
It felt like everyone was just kind of like it felt like the whole season they were just kind of spinning their wheels, waiting to connect it to the mainline Boys universe a little stronger by having those cameos, and everyone's just kind of like everyone's just kind of like in the same spot they were last season, where they're just like, I don't know who I am. Who should I be? And you're like, didn't we just do this, guys? I thought we just got through this whole arc for everyone. Like, I thought everyone kind of settled into their shit, and now you're acting like it's like all confusing again, because like you guys seem to have it at the end of last season, and now you at the beginning of this one, you guys all lost it randomly, But yeah, I don't know. I'm tapped out of The Boys.
Yeah,
I'm gonna like that final season. I'm gonna have fun with it, but like,
yeah,
all these other spin-offs, I'm gonna be like, no, I don't. It's taking up too much of the time. It's ruining the bit. The whole bit was that you guys were making fun of we're making fun of superhero show, but we're also making good superhero stuff. But now that they're doing all these spin-offs, it's like, okay, you guys are riding that line a little too hard. I don't know if you guys should be getting this greedy with it. Maybe just let's finish the main show and just leave it at that for everyone. So I'm not gonna finish it. I already got spoiled on the twist, which it was so obvious.
Yeah.
The first episode, you're just like, oh, that's who that is. And that also sucks because Hamish Linklater's a great actor, and as soon as you take him off the board, you're kind of like, okay, well, I'm infinitely less interested in watching the rest of this show now. So
yeah, you know what? Yeah, well, I didn't say this was weaker than season 1. I think this one could have been a little bit better in terms
That's
of.
what everyone was saying. Everyone was saying it was good. I'm just like tired of The Boys right now.
Yeah, no, you're feeling the mode.
I'm like,
all
right, we're done.
I understand you because you already stated that you're feeling the mode with this, all right, with The Boys already. So it makes sense why you wouldn't be that as excited for this as I would, who like really loved the first season of Gen V. So, but yeah, no, I get you. So for me, it's like this season is like a 7, like a solid 7. Like it's good. It could have, but it could have been better. I felt like, but again, if it wasn't for the performances and me, like I really love these characters a lot, I would have, had a much, rougher time with it, to be honest with you. But I'm looking forward to seeing these characters again when they come back. So that is my 2 cents. Yeah, all right. So now we'll get to the final topic, our final review, and I'll switch up the music for this because this Samurai Champloo beat has been running. So I'm gonna go to the other one. Yeah. So our last review, our last topic is obviously the week before Gen V ended. We got the season finale of Peacemaker season 2. And this we're gonna go more in depth. We're gonna go more in depth, kind of similar to what we usually do with our standard After Dark reviews. But yeah, bro. So Peacemaker season 2, second season now post Superman. This is like the second. Yeah, like this is like the third project of the new established DC universe by James Gunn. And we're looking forward to it because it's been a few years since the first season, and now that James Gunn is at the helm of DC Studios, at least for now. It's very shaky now. In terms of the Warner Brothers being up for bid right now. Yeah, I mean we're looking forward to this. We've been talking about it, and it's out, and we watched it. And yeah, so Seamus, let me know, bro. Give me your overall thoughts, non-spoiler. What were your overall thoughts of the second season of the Peacemaker?
It's good. It was fun. I went to it because I was like, hey, I like these characters. I would like to see more of these characters. And guess what I got? More of these characters. All these people talking about James Gunn was promising me the future. He said I'd see Jesus Christ. I'm like, You're an idiot. You're a fucking idiot. I don't know why you came into the show expecting anything other than, hey, what are Peacemaker and the gang up to? How are they faring? And that's what I came here for, and that's what I got, and it was pretty good. And I saw so many people bitching about the finale and bitching about the show, and it's like, dude, it's solid for what it is. I think you guys just didn't want it to be what it was, which was like, hey, let's explore more of Peacemaker's character and like, how does multiversal travel actually affect someone? You know what I mean? Someone who is like going through stuff, and let's do an interesting little like jump for that and just make it a fun little bit for the season. You know what I mean? And it was like, cool, that's fun. Like, sure, it has ties to the bigger DC universe, and I actually think some of those parts were like the weakest parts of the season were when it was trying to do something where it was trying to tie in, and I was just like, this isn't working for me. I don't need this. This is not what I'm not going to Peacemaker to get the read on what's going to happen in Supergirl. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm gonna watch the Superman movie and then go, that's what's going to happen with Supergirl. It's shit like that. Where like when the Justice Gang showed up in the first episode, I was like, I don't need this. I don't even think this is exceptionally well written or anything. This is kind of like annoying. I don't like this. And then they went away for the whole season. And then even the stuff with Rick Flag Sr., I was like, I kind of get it. You're creating that conflict for Chris, so that way he has to feel guilt over killing Rick Flag Jr. But like, I just don't like what's his name as Rick Flag Sr. I just don't think he's that good of an actor. He's just all right. You know what I mean? And it's like, cool. Every time I see this, he doesn't look like he's mourning his son who died. It looks like he's trying to take a shit every time. It's just like, and you're like, I'm not buying it. Everyone else on the main cast is great though. Everyone else on the main cast is always great. Steve Agee and Jennifer Holland, everyone is always like, oh, they're nepotism hires. They're James Gunn's friends. And it's like, yeah, dude, great. They know his material exceptionally well, and they play their roles perfectly. Like, yeah, he should cast more of his friends because they know what the fuck his writing's about, and they can understand it to a level where they could do it and perform it really well. You know what I mean? And I think that's why once the main cast works is that they're just operating on the same wavelength as James Gunn, which I think is really what makes his writing super strong. And you can tell when someone's not operating on the same wavelength as James Gunn, like Frank Grillo, where where you're just like, oh, you're not really like getting it. Like you're not really there yet. You know,
I feel like getting it.
like, you know,
I'm crying.
But yeah, like I thought it was fine. I thought it was fun. It was a good watch. I enjoyed my time with it. I enjoyed where all the characters went. I enjoyed seeing more vigilante stuff. You know, Freddie Strome is great as vigilante. It's hilarious. It's not at all the character from the comics, but like I said, these characters are transient. If you're telling a good story with it, even if it's not the same exact character, people are still going to love it because the essence of the character, you're like, oh yeah, because you know what I mean? James Gunn got what vigilante is. He's a dude who's insanely obsessed with the law and preventing crime. And so instead of taking it the route where he's a dark vigilante superhero, he's more just autistically fixated on crime. Which you're like, oh, that's a great subversion. I like that. And it turns out it's a great character. So yeah, I got no real criticisms for this other than that. Just go in expecting to see more great character work from John Cena and all the other actors and actresses on the show. And just leave it at that. Like, hey, you like Peacemaker? If you do, check it out. It's fun. Like, it's just Peacemaker stuff.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, just to add on to what you said before we like go on to spoilers and stuff and the character breakdown. I honestly thought people was like people saw that. People saw that one interview like on the cover where James Gunn literally said this is the best thing he's ever done, and people literally like saw that and was like hyped up, like, oh my god, we're gonna see like Jesus is gonna come back. It was gonna be like he's gonna drop so much stuff for the DC universe, stuff like that. But in reality, it's like no, like the one thing this is the best thing he's ever done because he got to break more of these characters down and get to know more about them, and you know he had to like it's just more character work. That's what he means by the best. Is like I feel like he meant the best character work he's ever done, right? Because that's all this is. Like what you said, it's just us going back into the world of Peacemaker, us exploring more of these characters, post the last time we saw them. Now that they're now woven into the greater DCU, even though just briefly. But not really just briefly, but like it's scattered. Like we get nods to the greater universe throughout the course of the whole season. But yeah, but most importantly, first and foremost, this is about Chris. This is about Economos. It's about Halcourt. Like it's basically just like this is a character. This was one giant character study, and I really do appreciate that a lot with Peacemaker. And it's good. Like it's not. Again, it's kind of similar with Gen V, where it's not as good as the first season, but it's still good nonetheless. I feel like people should definitely check it out. And yeah, man. I mean, I do have my gripes, and that's we will get to that with the character breakdown. But overall, I really did enjoy this season, and I do recommend people watch it. I mean, if you love the first season, watch this season. You'll have a good time with it, and all the concept stuff they do with like the multiverse and how that affects someone mentally, emotionally it was a really fun concept to explore, and yeah. So that's all I gotta say. I think overall I had a good time with it. But yeah, we'll go on the spoilers right quick. But so people, if you haven't already watched Peacemaker, it's been 2 weeks, which is fine. Please do yourself a favor right now and leave, watch Peacemaker and come back. So you'll get your warning in 3, 2, 1. All right, so now we are in spoiler territory. And again, I wish I had I missed my like alarm sound thing.
You missed the right to censor theme.
Yeah. So that it just made it more fun. But yeah, man. So spoilers ahead for Peacemaker, and we're gonna be going to the again. I didn't do what we like, what we didn't like, because we're gonna be talking about that with characters anyway. So now we're just gonna be doing a quick character breakdown. But first set of characters is none other than Chris Smith, aka Peacemaker, and Julia Harcourt, played by John Cena and Jennifer Holland. Listen, I mean, John Cena is just he's doing what he does best at Peacemaker. He killed it in this. Especially because this season focuses a lot more on, Peacemaker kind of coming to terms with his trauma, coming to terms with the loss of, his brother, and the abuse and the killing of and the murder of and the murder of his father. And the fact that they do this thing with the multiverse where he finds an Earth that is apparently seemingly perfect, and his brother and his father are alive. And so he kind of does, it's kind of like a visual like personification of like imposter syndrome, where he feels like he wants to live a life that he deserves, but in reality he knows he can't fully commit to it because this life isn't actually his, because he kills his doppelganger in the Pocket universe, which I love how they expanded more on, you know. So yeah, but I thought John Cena did a great job with the comedy, of course, with the action, with, you know, the emotional moments. Like I remember the scene where they're fighting where they fight his brother, and they like pretty much like gang up on him and like nearly kill him, and he like breaks down because of like he doesn't want to see his brother die again. Like, you know, he's like, "Go stop!" I loved that scene. Like you really felt that pain, and John Cena does a really good job. And like it's just like I'm just impressed with Cena, man. Like ever since, you know, he kind of has come up with acting the past like nearly a decade. Like he's been doing a really good job with, you know, character work, and he shines doing Peacemaker. So I just want to get my thoughts on that. Julia Harcourt. So Jennifer Holland, aka James Gunn's really hot wife. Sorry, James Gunn, you just have great taste. You're doing a good job. She was good. Well, I thought she had a great arc. I love the fact that like Waller did her dirty. She blacklisted her off of any organization, and now she's struggling to get a job. She's losing her sense of purpose because that's all she knows, and she was just taking her issues out on other people. And that was great as a way to cope. That was a really good arc for her, and how Rick Flag Sr. exploits that while trying to bring her back to Argus to, you know, get Chris. You know, that was really good. Yeah, I thought Julia was great, and then also come in terms of like, you know, that's why I put these two together, because come in terms with like, you know, their relationship, because the idea of like what happened on the boat is like a big overarching mystery and like thing in terms of like their and their like romance arc. That was really fun thing. But man, also I want to give her a shout out to her real quick, because Jennifer Holland, that girl can do stunts, bro. Because she did a lot of her own action sequences in this, on her own stunts. Like great, and like she knows how to fucking fight. She knows how to do some choreography. So I was very impressed when like, no, she did multiple stunts herself, like, and did it effortlessly. She looked great on camera. Like, you know, I want to give her a props there, because I thought the action for her specifically were great. You know. But yeah, what give me more of your thoughts on these two characters real quick before we move on to the next set of characters.
John Cena obviously put all his acting ability towards this instead of his heel run earlier this year.
Yeah.
He gave it socks this time, which, you know, good for him. That's good. Yeah, I mean, you pretty much said everything I agree with. They both were very good. Their characters had very good arcs. The only thing I would add that I, you know, maybe not agree on. I know that like Peacemaker is a self-insert for James Gunn, you know, and it's his exploration of his feelings after he got, you know, fired from Disney and all that. And I know that you know their relationship is supposed to be his relationship with his wife, but I don't think that Peacemaker and Harcourt should have gotten together at the end of the series.
Really?
I feel like they're both in such precarious emotional positions that I don't think that getting in a relationship would be healthy for them, or would even help them fix a lot of the problems they currently have. And that's why I was kind of hoping for an ending where, you know, they don't actually get together, maybe not yet or whatever, but they both are able to now communicate with each other clearly and effectively, because they both, you know, kind of get on the same page and they're allowed to be honest with each other. So, you know, I think that is generally where I stand with them and their relationship, because I thought separately both of them did a very good job. Both of them had very solid arcs. You know, Chris's was great and interesting, and Harcourt's was also interesting in the way they set her up as maybe she's turning against him, maybe she's not. You know, that was fun. But I at the end of the day, I think them staying at least for now, friends would have been more interesting than them just getting together and being like, look, we fixed it. It's all worked out. Because you're like,
Yeah, I can see that for sure. Yeah, it would have been a lot more interesting if they just like remained friends, instead of and not pursuing anything further after all they've gone through. Because in reality, they still have time to work. They still need like to work on themselves before committing to something like that. So so I get what you're saying. Like that makes sense. But I thought it was nice at the end when they had their kiss and they were at that concert. That was sweet. But that's just my 2 cents.
But I'm saying they didn't need to, because I think it would have worked just as fine if it was the entire Peacemaker crew there, and they are both able to smile at each other and enjoy each other's company without either of them instantly feeling uncomfortable or backing out or making, you know what I mean? I think just them being able to be in the same room as each other, because they hadn't for so long, I think that would have been a win in and of itself, where you're like, oh, look, they're back on good terms again. Everyone still loves each other. They're all in slightly better places starting that company together because they start Checkmate together at the end.
Yeah, that was funny.
And that's what I'm saying. And I think that would have been satisfying enough of an ending without having to throw on the very, at least haphazardly, romance that at the end becomes haphazard, because then it's like, well, now that we're good with each other, now we need to get together. And it's like, well, you don't yet. Like, you guys could just be like, okay, let's take it slow, or because I feel like that would just fit more with their characters and where their characters were going than them. Because Chris's whole thing is him growing up. You know what I mean? So if he grew up at the end of it, then he would have recognized, hey, maybe a relationship right now is not the best play for both of us. And then that would have been a very great ending and a very great bookend to his arc of growing up and realizing, no, the problems that I have now are the ones that I should solve, and I shouldn't run away from them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, just my
for sure. Also, I did find it a little weird that like they got together at the end after Peacemaker was sleeping with her alternate universe counterpart, and it's like, isn't that a little weird that like he slept with your alternate?
Yeah, and the whole thing where she was sleeping with Rick Flag Jr. and he killed him, but then she assures him that it's fine, and the whole thing you're like, there's too much is getting revealed, too much is on the table. That there's no way right after that whole thing, they'd be like, all right, we're okay to date now. No, you guys got a lot of shit to still process, even though you guys might now be in more of a mature position to be able to process it. Like, you guys, what are we doing? Come on.
Mm-hmm. So I just want to get out of the way. That was a little weird. But all right. So we'll move on to the next set, which is going to be Adebayo and Adrian Chase, aka Vigilante, played by Daniel Brooks and Freddie Stroma. Real quick on Adebayo, because I don't really have much to say on her. I mean, I like Daniel Brooks in the role. Her arc was pretty much, it's like, hey, like, I miss my wife, and I don't really know. I'm trying to find myself. Like, that was pretty much what it was. So I thought she played that arc well. I thought she did that. I thought she did her arc well. I mean, she's also like pretty funny, and she's kind of like, I honestly think like Adebayo is like the heart of the team. Like, like she's kind of like what brings the team.
She's the heart of the show. Like, it's Chris's show and it's about Chris, but Adebayo has always been the heart of the show and been the person who has believed in Chris's goodness enough for him to actually have an arc. Because like without her, he doesn't even have an arc. He's just ropey all.
Yeah, she's the glue of like the friend group. Like, she's the one that like makes sure that like who cares for these people deeply, but make sure that everyone's together. Like, I like that about Adebayo a lot. So I'm really happy kind of did that with her arc, and how she also becomes one of the linchpins of founding this version of Checkmate. Which the way that they're doing Checkmate this way is hilarious to me. But so I really like the character a lot. Listen, I gotta say this off rip. I think you already know. Vigilante is my boy. I love Vigilante. He's my favorite character in this show. I love Adrian so much.
I love him. I love him this season. I do feel like we're on the edge of him being a little Flanderized, though, and I'm getting scared. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like season 1 was that perfect balance of he's a joke, but also like he's still functional and still serious. You know what I mean? But this season, I was like, okay, we're getting a little more funny with it, but like this is like the limit. And if you go any farther with him, then he just kind of becomes Deadpool. And you're like,
yeah,
I don't really want that. I want him to stay vigilante.
And I felt that when he had the arc of like, oh, I want to find like my alternate universe self, and his alternate universe self was exactly the same as his. It was not different at all. Which is like,
yeah, that was funny, and I was like, that's cool. And I don't mind doing the jokes there because the jokes are funny. But like other times where he constantly be bringing up the animal facts joke, I was like, this doesn't really feel like season one Adrian. Like this kind of feels like what someone's headcanon of season one Adrian is, you know?
And it's funny because like, yeah, when he meets his alternate self, I love, like they were the exact same. Yeah, the animal facts thing was a little bit overdone. But yeah, I thought that was fun. And again, like, I do like the fact that with Vigilante, because like, again, what you said earlier, like he's someone that is so obsessed with the law that like, you know, he has an erotic sense of keeping up with the law to the point where like he's kind of insane and he's a goofball instead of, you know, the serious take that that Adrian is in the comics. You know, and just real quick, this is just that's why I left for a second. I gotta show off. This is how much of a Vigilante fan I am. I love Vigilante. I love this character, even though this isn't Adrian, but like still love the character. Vigilante Southland, check it out. This book is great. But yeah, I thought Adrian was again, yeah, you're right. I feel like they kind of leaned too much into him being too much of like a Deadpool-ish character in this. But they didn't have plenty of moments where it's like, oh no, like it reminded me why I love the character so much, because his arc in this is like kind of pretty much how much he misses, how much he values Chris as a friend, even though Chris thinks he does too much and everyone thinks he does too much. But you know, I really like when Chris is gone, like he is the one that's like hurt the most. I mean, and I know like they do acknowledge the fact that like Chris kind of has pity for him and like feels for him because his older brother his older brother was kind of a piece of shit to him, so like he uses Chris as a replacement for his older brother in a way to kind of cope with that kind of trauma, which I thought was like a really nice touch to the character. Loved the fact that we actually see his vigilante secret headquarters, which is in his mom's basement, which again they're going way too ham on the fact that he's just a guy who lives in his mom's basement who's like surprisingly a capable vigilante, a capable superhero. When we see this man's hideout and he has every weapon, gun, drug, contraband, money that he's salvaged from operating like drug cartels and like human trafficking rings. And he was like, again, that neuroticism of that autistic neuroticism sense of like maintaining the law, upholding the law at all costs, where like he can't even give this to the police because he doesn't want it to get in the hands of corrupt cops. I was like, yeah, this is great. You know? So yeah, just stuff like that, man. But yeah, I thought it was I thought Vigilante, I mean, again, he had a little slight issues in this season compared to last season, but Adrian was my boy. I love Adrian so much. So yeah, we'll go into Adrian a little bit when we get towards, you know, Blue Dragon and all that. Kind of thought she was hilarious. But yeah, so moving on to the next set of characters. Corey, you have any thoughts on Vigilante and Adebayo before we move on? No. Okay. All right. I gotta read the Didn't they drop? Yeah, they dropped a mini series of like Eagly and Vigilante. I gotta read that because I heard it looked fun. So, but yeah. So the next set of characters goes to Economos and Judomaster, played by Steve Agee and Newt Lee. Again, love Economos. Economos' arc that was pretty funny. Like he was just like, I hate my job, but I need my job, but I hate my job. Like that was Economos. But it was like. He's like, I love my friends, even though I won't admit I love my friends. Like, you know, it's that's pretty much the entirety of his arc. Steve Agee does a good job. He's hilarious. He's so funny in this show. I thought it was great. I don't know what to say on him. I loved his interaction. I forgot to add him to the slides, but old boy who's in everything. you know what I'm talking about. That place was in Flory, something like that. I'm trying to look up the actor's name real quick, just because I should know who he is, because he's literally in everything. He's been in everything. He's been in anything black for the past like 3 decades. But yeah, I love their interaction with each other. I thought it was so funny. Oh my gosh. Yeah, bro. I thought that his interactions with Fleury was hysterical. They were like some of the highlights of like most of the comedy for me. In this season for sure. But yeah. So I'm just all trying to look at what's the actor's name? What's the actor's name? Oh my gosh. Come on. I'll get it eventually.
My boy Nut.
My boy, how do you say his name? Is it Newt? Or
no, it's not.
It's actually not.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh wow, okay. Also happy to see Judomaster back.
What? It's literally not.
It's literally not. Okay. But, you know, I was
That's his name. His
I know
name's
it's his name.
Like, what the fuck?
But no, I was very happy to see Judomaster back, because I loved him in the last season, and he got some really cool moments. You know, again, you know, a little bit of he got a little bit of his revenge with Economos and with Peacemaker. But I loved, and shout out to my boy Kevin, because we were talking about this a couple of days ago. But I loved his scenes with Adebayo towards like the end of the season, especially when they had that heart to heart while they're in the other universe. And I was like, it's cool. Why is he eating his Cheetos? Why is he eating his Cheetos just chilling? He's so tiny, but he's like deadly and tiny. It's great.
I love a little evil gay man. I think every show needs a little evil gay man who knows.
Honestly, bro.
Who knows judo? Who
knows judo? Yeah, man. It's great.
Yeah, they both had solid roles and solid arcs. I enjoyed both of them in this.
For sure, bro. Oh, Tim Meadows. Yeah, Langston Fleury. Shout out Tim Meadows. Hysterical. When he gives the.
You gotta Google Tim Meadows. Holy shit.
I know, bro.
I didn't know you didn't. I thought you were just talking about Fleury. I was like, oh yeah, Tim Meadows. I thought you were saying. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Tim Meadows is an underrated cast member on SNL. I think
100%.
Talk about him, but he's really fucking funny. So I'm glad he got an extended role on the show where he just got to be really fucking funny, because he was funny throughout the entire season. He never overstayed his welcome. He always, every joke he had landed with me.
Bro, look for like The Ladies Man, classic. Mean Girls, classic. You know, like yeah, Benchwarm, bro. I love him in Benchwarmers so much. He's hilarious in Benchwarmers. Yeah. So yeah, like, I agree. He's very underrated in terms of SNL cast. I think he's always funny in anything he's in. So the fact that they added him in here, I thought was really a great balance with, like, you know, the serious moments. You know, especially with him interacting with Economos when he interacts with, you know, Sasha Bordeaux. I thought that was great. Overall, love these two. They're great, and also Fleury as well with Tim Meadows. He was dope. All right, so next batch of characters is Rick Flag Sr. and Sasha Bordeaux, played by Frank Grillo and Sol Rodriguez. I'll start off with Sasha Bordeaux. I don't have much to say on her. I thought she was fine. I thought she was cool. I mean, she didn't really like do that much, but like she didn't really do that much. I mean, she kind of has, I guess, significance towards the end when she gets involved with Adebayo and Halcourt to like help form Checkmate. Again, I forgot about this character in the comics. I know she has some appearances in like the Batman and with the Bat family, you know, because she's a cyborg and all that jazz. You know, but you know, I think Sol Rodriguez did a good job. Again, I gotta stop falling in love with people. She's gorgeous. Fun fact, I didn't know this, but she actually auditioned as the engineer in Superman and didn't get it because, you know, she auditioned for Superman. But James Gunn loved her so much that he wanted to use her for this instead. And probably has future plans with her. And funny enough, she actually did. She's from Argentina. She actually, back in her earlier acting career, she did a long-standing Nickelodeon telenovela with Maria Gabriela de Faria. Like that, they've been friends for years, you know. So I thought it was kind of like a funny coincidence that they're both part of James Gunn's DC universe. So, yeah. Overall, like, what are your thoughts on Sasha Bordeaux to start off real quick? What are your thoughts on her?
She was there.
She's there. You know?
I mean, she gets like a mini arc at the end where she quickly is like, oh. It just kind of felt more like set up for like you'll see her later in a more important thing. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. Like, she didn't really have much, but but I mean, I feel like James Gunn's gonna use something with her in the future. You know, because they were setting stuff up, especially when she starts up Checkmate with the crew. So I mean, we'll see where that goes. But yeah, so thumbs up for Sol Rodriguez for sure. But Rick Flag Sr. I don't know how I feel about Rick Flag Sr. because, like, granted, because like I know, because this obviously isn't Frank Grillo's first time as a character. His first time doing the character was with Creature Commandos, which I didn't finish, so I have to finish that. I have to finish that show at some point. But loved him in that show. I thought he did a good job voicing the character of Rick Flag Sr., interacting with it and starting up that team. But it was weird seeing him just like the way they carried him in that show, and from how they portrayed him in this, because I didn't like the fact that like he essentially was the antagonist of the series due to now Chris's actions during the Suicide Squad, which again, I'm just so happy they just keep acknowledging the Suicide Squad because I love that movie. His actions at the end of the Suicide Squad killing Rick Flag Jr. is now coming back to haunt him, with Rick Flag Sr. being the head of Argus, now dead set on just getting revenge for his son's death. I thought it was a great way to start off this season with this way to start off the character. But then it got a little weird especially when Lex Luthor comes through, and it kind of, I feel like it was a little out of character, where like he seemed like he was in.
He does too much of. It's funny that John Cena's on this show. He does too much of an out of character heel turn, where much like John Cena's heel turn at the beginning of the year, you knew he was gonna turn heel, but the extent as to which he did turn heel feels a little too cartoonish and a little too unrealistic and not fitting of the character. Because like when John Cena turned heel, you expected his heel turn to be like, I'm going to do everything in my power to win that 17th world championship. I don't care who I'm going through. I don't care what rules I break. That's what you know what I mean? And that's what you expected. But then he came out and his heel turn was all like, the fans never cared about me. You guys suck. You booed me for years. And you were like, oh, that doesn't make sense. Like, even heel John Cena wouldn't say that. The same thing here, where you knew Rick Flag was going to abuse the system to specifically target Chris and get at him. But then at the end, when he's just all in on anti-metahuman sentiment, you're like, this kind of feels a little too far. Like, this feels like a character switch where it's like, his grudge was purely personal with Chris, and Chris isn't even a metahuman. And then all of a sudden, he's just like anti-metahuman hater number one, despite being on the Creature Commandos. Like, where is this coming from? What are you doing? Why are you making Rick Flag Sr. central to your universe instead of Amanda Waller? What am I watching? I don't want to see Frank Grillo in every movie going forward. I would like to see Viola Davis in every movie going forward, though. So, like, maybe let's weigh our options here and let's consider the fact that maybe Rick Flag Sr.'s entire run should have ended here. You know what I mean?
I honestly was surprised that we didn't get a cameo of Viola Davis as Waller in this, though, to like remind her that, like, you know, she's still a thing, she's still around. Instead of just saying, instead of just calling her out by name. But I thought like him being in cahoots with Lex Luthor like towards the end and having fun doing it, that was the weirdest thing. I was like, this is just like, I wouldn't expect this from.
Yeah, like he's so readily, like willing to be a henchman. No, that's not really who Rick Flag is. He will work for the system, but he's not going to be a direct henchman with like Lex Luthor, and he's not going to be like you know. He's not going to be doing this going like, yes, Lex, we finally trapped all the metahumans on Salvation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he always struck me as the guy to be like, listen, it's for the safety of the United States. We have to do this. I'm not too down with it, but it's going to keep us safe. Like that kind of villain. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It
and
just was weird.
I did like the fact that like we get to see like how much Rick Flag meant to him like out from a father-son relationship in the beginning, but then like when he goes to that crazy out of character hero turn and like he uses his son's death to like literally like focus on like ending metahumans forever, like this is just weird, bro. I was like, nah. But yeah, overall, Rick Flag Senior, I was like, I don't know, I'm a little iffy on you. I want to see more? I don't know. Like I'm kind of conflicted by it. Like I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on Rick Flag Senior right now. To be honest with you. You have anything else you want to say before we move on to the last set of characters?
No, I don't want to talk more about Frank Grillo. Thank you.
All right. All right, so the last set of characters is Augie Smith 2, aka Blue Dragon, and Keith Smith 2, aka Captain Tryon, played by Patrick Wilson and David Denman. And funny enough, like I was wondering like where the hell when David Denman was cast to be in the was announced as to be cast in the show in this season, I was like, where do I know him from? And I was like, oh wait a minute, the only thing I've ever seen him in was in fucking Brightburn, the movie that James Gunn's siblings and cousins did.
Brightburn is a crazy shout out. I thought you were gonna say The Office.
I didn't watch The Office. I've never really seen The Office. No, I've seen The Office. I mean, I've seen clips of The Office, but I never watched the whole series in its entirety. So I wouldn't have known if he was in it. But yeah, no, I mostly remember him in Brightburn. Like that was the only thing I've really even seen him in. But yeah, man, this but obviously with these two characters going from the alternate universe that Peacemaker kind of trades lives with his variant. Didn't you kind of love? I don't know about you, but like, how funny was it when we see like? Well, I thought first off, seeing these characters and be like, oh, that like Augie seems to be like a nice guy. He's not a fucking white supremacist in this. Keith, seemed to be like if he was alive, he would have been he would have been a cool dude. Like I like this. I like this this kind of like this what if scenario with these two characters and how it really affected Chris being like, this is the life I should have had. That was like a really cool arc. But and then we see all the world that they're in. It's all nice and perfect, and everyone loves Peacemaker. I think they're called the Top Trio, which is like a weird name. I did not like that name at all. The Top Trio. That sounds sexual. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it sounds like a bunch of it sounds like three dudes on Grindr. Like,
at the RNC.
Top Trio. Yeah, like what are we doing?
But yeah, like this world's all nice and it's like, yeah, it's cool. Like, okay, like this seems like a nice world that it makes sense why Chris would want to stay here instead of going back to his whole his life where he feels like he's miserable and he like thinks everyone around him dies. But how good did it feel when you see Adebayo walking in the street, go for a stroll, and you see all these white, and I didn't notice it at first because like there's only white folk around that are in these offices, and like I don't see any people of color at all. This is weird. And then you see all these people looking at Adebayo all strange, and you see Keith come out of his car and be like, "Oh my gosh, everyone, it's a black!" And we're just like, "What?"
Dude, when he yelled, "One of them got out," fucking died laughing. I was like, "Holy shit!"
I thought it was amazing that.
Also, it was funny how you started that whole description of a horrifically racial incident with how good did it feel? Like, not too good, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Where it's like when you realize that the world that Chris thinks is perfect has been Earth X the entire time. I thought it was hilarious, and they're just like, how do you not notice this with the swastikas on the American flags, or the copies of Mein Kampf everywhere, or the giant mural of Hitler literally in Argus headquarters? And like, oh, I don't know, I just miss it. She was like, yeah, Chris is a fucking idiot. I love him. He's just so stupid.
Yeah.
But I did really appreciate the fact that obviously with variants, obviously we're gonna see like the opposites of the characters from the main universe. I kind of did like the fact that it would have been kind of messed up if Augie, being a white supremacist and white supremacist in the main universe, is still one here. But in reality, he wasn't. He actually wasn't a racist.
He was worse. He was an ineffectual centrist.
Yes.
He was worse. What's more annoying than a white supremacist? A centrist who's telling you that it's useless to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's what I liked about him, is because it was a different extreme where I think a lot of people were expecting Augie to be super left leaning and you know like that type of character, but James Gunn took it in a different dimension where instead of the opposite of Augie's extreme racism is you know extreme kind of leftism.
Yeah.
He took it in a different direction where the opposite of extremism is just ineffectual centricism, where it's just Augie sitting there going like, by golly, I don't like the system I live in, but I live my life every day, you know, hoping to be a good person and trying to do my best as myself, you know, and it's like, you're annoying. You're Joe Biden. I hate you. But like, and it's like, yeah, it's even funnier too, because like, yeah, ineffectual, soft, centrist father who's like, oh, well, there's nothing you can do about it. Of course, instantly raises two horrifically racist children who are angry all the time. Because that's exactly how it goes. And it's like, yeah, of course, Augie's two kids are like fully racist and evil.
Yeah, man. And it's crazy because like, and I mean, obviously we know how James Gunn is when it comes to like putting social commentary into his work, especially recently with Superman. But I kind of find it kind of hilarious that he modeled this version of Earth, his version of Earth X, in a kind of a idealistic vision of what the far right, or what this current administration's kind of trying to turn this country into. So I was like, okay, I see what you're doing, James Gunn.
It's funny that he was trying to make Superman. He was like, no, Superman's not a political statement. It's like,
sure.
Pal, I just watched Peacemaker season 2, and you had two characters directly state that the Nazi world isn't so different from the real world. Like, I know what you're saying, James Gunn. I know you're just scared of getting fired from another company again.
Well, yeah, man. I thought that reveal was great, and I did like, even before they were revealed as Nazis, I really liked how, like, you know, I did like, yeah, it's just the what if about, yeah, like this is who these characters would have became if, you know, if it wasn't for the circumstances of the main world. And I like how that really affected Chris, seeing like this as a second chance, but then and actually held on to that reality so hard that like he did not want to lose them, especially when going back to Vigilante, like I was teasing earlier, when Vigilante killed Augie too, I could not stop laughing because like knowing Vigilante, he clearly could have like he could have just like, you know, did a signal in the window, making sure everything was all good, instead of just like barging in and stabbing Blue Dragon to death in front of Keith and Chris. That was crazy.
But no, yeah, I listen. Vigilante was right to kill those two guys. Vigilante was entirely correct to kill those two dudes fully and freely.
But then Chris was kind of insulted, like, "Wait, my dad wasn't a Nazi. He wasn't a Nazi." And
you're like, Chris, your dad was worse. He was a Nazi sympathizer. Like, he may not have agreed with the Nazis, but he sure let them do whatever they want.
True, which is still pretty bad. But you know, one thing that I thought they were teasing, but then like for like the last episode, because like, but then they just didn't do. I thought the as a secondary antagonist to Rick Flag, that Captain Triumph was gonna come back for revenge to like try to kill Chris in the other in the main universe. That's what I thought they were gonna do. Because when they had him in the stretcher and they had him in they did a close up shot of his face, like that close up zoom to his face of him being pissed. I was like, okay, he's gonna come back and get revenge. That makes sense. But then like it just didn't happen. So I was like, okay, whatever. But yeah. Overall, these characters were fun until they were Nazis. So that's all I gotta say. Seamus, you got any more thoughts at all on these last match?
No.
Alrighty, fair enough. All right, so just real quick, just going through. There's quick cameos, Easter eggs. I know Seamus already said one. Yeah, like the Justice Gang came back. So Elizabeth Merced as Hawk Girl, Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, and now getting more of Maxwell Lord, played by Sean Gunn, who looks great, I think, in the role of Maxwell Lord. He looks good in this.
Yeah.
So I mean, you say you didn't like it. I mean, it was nice to just be reminded that like this is a part of a greater universe here and there. I didn't mind it. It didn't really annoy me that much. But I thought this was fine. I like this scene.
I just don't like his writing for these characters. I'm just
That's
like,
fair.
all right, I love you, James Gunn, but maybe let's tone it down a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
You don't need to be making James Gunn jokes every minute. You can let it sit for a minute and just be, chill, and we can chill out. We don't have to be making camel toe jokes every 5 seconds. I know this is your show and this is your baby, but like, let's bring it back a little bit.
No, I get that. I get that. Yeah, it could be a bit much, but I was just happy to see these characters again. So that was nice. And also, but they in order to adjust to the or to be in continuity with this new DC universe, he retconned the end scene, the season finale scene from Peacemaker season 1, where in the season 1 the Justice League from the DCU show up, but in this one it just reshot it and to the point where it's just the Justice Gang shows up, so like it never happened. So I thought it was nice. And yeah, but here's then we see Rick Flag Jr. Played by Joel Kinnaman, come in as well, in not just in a flashback from the main universe, but also in as Rick Flag Jr. 2 in the Nazi in Earth X, where he's like the exact opposite of himself, where he's feeble and just insecure and just annoying.
That was funny.
It was hilarious. It was hilarious.
Is pretty good at comedy.
Yeah, I want to see him do more of it. I mean,
Yeah.
great. My intro to comedy for him was when in the Suicide Squad. I thought he did a great job. Balancing the action and the seriousness and the comedy. So I like how they give him more of they just give him more opportunities to have more fun. I thought that was nice. But the surprise for me, I did not expect Nicholas Hoult to come back as Lex Luthor in this. I don't know. I was surprised. I was like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
that was dope. I mean, granted, we if you haven't checked our Superman review, check it out. But like, we already praised how much we love Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, so it was really nice to see him again.
Yeah, and he felt a little different in this. And then I looked it up, and this was like one of his first, one of the first times they filmed him as Lex, which is why I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense why he feels slightly different. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay. Yeah. Well, what was different about him? What was different about him? Because I thought he looked pretty much the same.
He felt the way that Nicholas Hoult was acting as him, he felt just a little less flamboyantly angry, and he felt more like it was like a quiet rage than it was like a how Lex is in the movie, where he's constantly being like, Superman is fucking us. Instead, here he's like quietly sitting down, going like, "That's fucking me right now," and you're like, it's a little understated.
Yeah, okay, I got you. Yeah, because he lost, so like this is Lex in defeat. So that makes sense. But it was nice. It was great to see Nicholas Hoult, again. So I was very happy to see. But it's just like it was nice. But that's pretty much it. I don't really got anything else besides that. Talk about the ending right quick. So the post-credit scene and the ending. The original ending ends on a nice note with all the gang coming to terms with the events of the season, getting to terms with going through their arcs, of what they learned throughout the course of their journey, and they do the whole wing wham. I think is it wing wham? No, not wing wham. Sorry. What was the group that does the intro for the
Foxy Shazam?
Foxy Shazam. Sorry, I don't know why I said wing wham. What the fuck? Fox Shazam, the whole Fox Shazam concert. Oh, it was a nice, sweet ending. Even though it's not what I expected. But yeah, it was a nice, sweet ending. And them forming Checkmate Seamus, checkmate, bro. James Gunn's doing checkmate.
I'm more surprised about Salvation Run, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, we're you're gonna look me in the eyes and adapt a lead up to Final Crisis already?
Yep.
The third project? Why would you do that? What are we doing?
I just did not expect. I was like, check. Wow, like they're acknowledging checkmates. I think. Okay. Like, you know, that's crazy. As a competitor to Argus, which I mean that is true. That's what it is in the comics. Yeah, that was cool.
Anymore after Event Leviathan?
Robin?
I was saying, does it exist after Event Leviathan?
I don't know if it does or not.
Because I think it's just Argus that's left now. Because I think Checkmate and Shade and all those fucking organizations, Spiral, all that shit got put under when Event Horizon happened, and now they're all under Argus, I think.
Okay, well, yeah, well that sounds right. Because I haven't heard anything from like Spiral or Shade or any other organization, organization in the DC universe after Event Leviathan. So yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, man, I'm just curious to see what they're gonna do with the whole Checkmate brand. I wonder if we're gonna be getting introduced to any characters that are related to Checkmate in the comics. That'd be kind of cool if we get that in the future. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I just hope that if they're gonna do Checkmate, at least throw in some Checkmate characters. Checkmate related characters. But yeah, but then the post credit scene. So the post credit scene pretty much ends with again, like that whole plan that, you know, which again I don't really like, of, you know, Rick Flag in cahoots with Lex Luthor to use Peacemaker's pocket dimension technology to use for their storage to find a universe that is similar to Earth, that's apparently uninhabited, that they're going to be using to throw metahumans in as a sort of prison, kind of like their own kind of pseudo negative zone. And as revenge to test it out, Rick Flag, as revenge for, you know, Rick Flag Jr. to test it out, they throw Chris in there, and the show ends with him stuck in this alternate Earth that is apparently is inhabited by monsters and dangerous stuff around him, and that's it. It literally ends that way. And then I was like, where do we go from here? Because I don't think this show's gonna get another season. I think James Gunn confirmed this is gonna be the last season. I
guarantee you, my lock of the week right now is that before the big Final Crisis or whatever happens, I guarantee you that they're going to announce that there's going to be a continuation of Peacemaker, and it's going to be another Suicide Squad movie.
Okay.
And it's going to be, instead of the Suicide Squads working under Argus, they're going to be working under Checkmate, and it's going to be Vigilante, Adebayo, and a bunch of other Peacemaker cast alongside new additions of other superheroes or supervillains in the DCU, working as a Suicide Squad, where they're not being forced to work there, but they're going all on a rescue mission that they might not come back from another Earth. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So kind of so a Checkmate movie in the vein of like a Suicide Squad, like a new.
It's
Suicide
not
Squad.
A Checkmate movie, Mikey. You're not finagling it to be a Checkmate movie. It's a Suicide Squad movie that Checkmate happens to be in. You're not gonna make it. You're not gonna call it Checkmate because then no one's gonna fucking show up.
I mean, that's true.
It's gonna be you in the theater with your popcorn, going like, "Oh boy, the Checkmate movie's out."
But I mean, listen, if you're gonna use a Suicide Squad using Checkmate, using this group that is calling themselves Checkmate, I'm gonna refer to it as a Checkmate movie.
Okay, well, all right. So then, do you refer to the other two Suicide Squad movies as the Argus movies? Yeah. You know what that's called, Mikey? That's called a Checkmate. Again.
I will mute you. But yeah, man. I thought this was just a weird. I thought this was just like an abrupt ending because knowing the state of the DC universe right now, and knowing that James Gunn said he's not going to be doing this, you're like, where is it going to go? But I like your idea. That's a solid idea. But yeah. Like this,
and then it's literally like it's called Suicide Squad, but it's literally just like the Peacemaker Squad, and then you just like have it be like the Rogues.
Peacemaker
Like,
Squad, say what it is.
Peacemaker Squad and the Rogues having to go to
Say what it
Salvation.
is.
Half
It's
the
so
Rogues
big.
like metahuman friends, like let's say Golden Glider gets thrown in there as a metahuman, and the Rogues are like, oh no, fuck that, we gotta go get her out.
Yeah, okay, that's kind of fire. Where do you think he is though? Like, do you think this is going to be an Earth from the comics that
Yeah, he's on Salvation Run. He's on Salvation Run.
Okay, I got you.
From the Final Crisis lead up, where they threw all the villains on Salvation Run, and they all started like, it was basically like a shitty Lord of the Flies with the villains, where like Lex Luthor and Joker were having a power struggle and shit. There are rumors that Deathstroke and Bane team up movie was going to be the Salvation movie, actually, and that whole movie was going to be Deathstroke and Bane get thrown in on Salvation, and it's basically them having to fight their way out on Salvation.
Okay, yeah,
which I think would be interesting. I just am more married to the idea of Suicide Squad 3 just being a continuation, so that way it's all kind of kept neatly in the same corner of the DC universe, you know?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, we'll see where they go with this, but yeah, I got nothing else to say. Do you have anything else to say on the ending on the post-credit scene? Your thoughts? I thought it was fine, but I was like, I just didn't expect it to go this way.
Yeah.
All right, so just to close it out, what would you give? What are your final thoughts on Peacemaker Season 2, and what would you give it out of 10?
That's tough. I want to say like between a 7 and an 8, I think.
Yeah, I would give it a 7.5. I thought it was good. Maybe an 8. Yeah, 7.5 or an 8. Like I thought it was pretty good, and not as good as the first season, but good nonetheless. But again, I thought it was just the character. It was just the character work. I think this was great character work from James Gunn as always, and that was really nice to see these characters go through more challenges and go through more interesting developments and arcs. I thought it was really fun. And I'm just curious to see where they go from here. I know the next show that they're doing that's going to be coming out, I believe, is Lanterns.
Yeah, it's Lanterns and then Supergirl next year are the two.
Yeah,
it's coming out
fairly soon.
Yeah, I'm apprehensive. I'm excited, but I'm a little,
Well, we'll see, because I know it's kind of in talks right now, because and I remember seeing an interview that James Gunn did with a comic book YouTuber recently, where, and I heard John Cameos say the same thing, in videos as well. It's kind of a well established kind of rumor right now, where it's James Gunn isn't sure if he's going to be even though his plans for what he's been doing now is long term, but and within the DCU, but he doesn't know if he's going to be the co-head of DCU once the sale of Warner Brothers finalizes, because obviously it's standard procedure when a company buys another company, they restructure things, they cut things out, they'll fire and hire new people to establish in existing positions. So she's not sure if he will even be there. But
I doubt James Gunn would get sacked. If anyone, David Zaslav would probably get fucking.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was gonna say if you let me land. But knowing James Gunn and Peter Zaslav's success, Peter Safran's success with the DC universe so far, the fact that he just got started, the fact that it's getting good reception, I feel like it's stupid to sack James Gunn right now, because he's the only one that is doing. He's the one on the gas pedal and is generally doing a good job in terms of his strategy, in terms of focusing on the stories first, telling good stories first, and he cares about the material. I feel like no one else could do better than what he's doing right now in terms of the DC universe. I don't think he has a replacement. I don't think there's anyone that's willing to take on the task, that's willing to that is as good as him to replace him. To be honest with you, so I think he's irreplaceable. I don't think it's a good thing business wise, And it kind of sucked it, just to literally, I honestly think without him, he would, because he's the creative, it would crash and burn. That's
it.
And it just got started. Yeah, we'll see. But my hopes are up. I think he's gonna be fine. But yeah, all right, people. So yeah, pretty much a seven, pretty much within like 7.5, 8. Yeah, we highly recommend. This gets like the Indie Corner seal of approval. Like I'm gonna get that animation made where it's just like a stamp that says Indie Corner seal of approval. But
it's gotta go up the whole screen too.
It does. I highly recommend you watch this show for sure. And yeah, it's still up on HBO Max. If you have an HBO Max account, please give the show a watch. It's worth it. Yeah. So just to close it off, recommendations. You got any recommendations for the people, Seamus? I'm gonna.
I will throw out Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. We talked about that this one. It was good. Batman Dark Patterns, Superman the Kryptonite Spectrum, Ultimates, of course, as always, Absolute Martian Manhunter, as always. If you got an extra $25, play Dispatch. I played the first 2 episodes.
I heard that game was fun.
They were great.
Really
it was good shit. It was very good shit. I had a very good time with it. I'm excited for the next month of the episodes I get to play. But yeah, that was good shit. So yeah. So get some extra money later on.
I got you. Yeah, all right. But, I mean, for me, I only really got 2. Mostly just books, but yeah, Ultimates number 17 was really good. Me and Jim were talking about it off camera. It was pretty much the kind of the lead up to like the whole Doom reviving the Fantastic Four deal. I thought it was really good, and it was like just like the previous like Doom Centered issue that we got earlier on in the Ultimates. It was a really good play on Doom trying to recover a part of his life that was taken away from him, and it was really interesting to see how the trauma, the realization that of who the Maker's entity is, how he's trying to recreate the Fantastic Four in some way. Did
you see that?
It was awesome, dude. I love that.
Panels. I was like, because I was joking when I saw the solicits and I saw the previews. I was like, oh look, they kind of look like the UFOs. That's a little funny. And then that one panel, it was literally the UFOs, and I was like, "Fuck off! You got the UFOs."
Yeah, dude, that was fun. But then like him trying to use the Project 4 the whole Project 4 thing to try to bring back a piece of Sue, Ben, and Johnny in a way, even though he has no resonance of who they are in their other universe. I thought that was great. I thought it was really good.
And the conversation with Hank and Reed, that was just it was so good. That fucking panel where when Hank's like, just because you're broken doesn't mean you need to be fixed, and I was like, fuck off.
Oh, it was so good.
That's so good. Fuck off, that's so good. And then did you see in the previews for Ultimate Endgame issue 1 that that Doom changed his mask?
Oh, did he? Okay.
It's now straight up 1960s Doctor Doom like debut.
That's
mask.
crazy.
And I'm like, oh, dude, he's gonna shoot the shit out of the Maker. He's gonna, because he's literally 1960s Doctor Doom mask, but he has just two Glocks on.
Yeah, he's Star-Lord. Like literally, he's like his moveset is that he's just Star-Lord, and I kind of like it. Yeah, Ultimate 17, definitely recommend reading that. Power Fantasy. So because I remember people that remember who've been watching us for a while. When we did our best and worst of last year, Power Fantasy was one of my top three books of the year. Only read the first 4 issues, and I stopped reading it because I had other stuff to read. Then Shaman's got on it after I recommended it to him. He's been on top of it and loving it. So now I'm rereading everything so I can catch up. This book is crazy. This book is insane. I love it. It is. I'm on issue 7 right now, and I'm like, I felt so dumb for not continuing it. I felt so stupid for stopping it. It's really good.
What just happened in that issue? Because I was about to say something. I don't know if it's a spoiler yet.
I'm sorry. On 6, 6 was kind of like the rundown of now Magus working for the American government, and with the Department of Magic, and kind of the backstory of Heavy's son, who is like the next superpower along with Masumi. So that was really interesting because the way that you do powers and power levels in this is crazy. The way, like, I know you. It's funny, like you think that. I know you said that, like, Ultimates is potentially rivaling Watchmen, or maybe be even better than Watchmen. I think Power Fantasy is also on that list too. I think Power Fantasy was like one of the best books I've read in a minute, just due to how complex the world is, the themes to address in terms of what the superpower is, how it affects society, how it affects governments.
It's definitely up. Definitely up there.
I think it's at Watchmen level. I think it's really, really good. And I'm only on issue 6. But yeah, these two are like must reads. Y'all gotta read both these books, man. It's incredible. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm closing out here. So thanks everyone who are watching this or who are watching. We appreciate it. Please, again, hit the subscribe button so you get, and please hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you know when we drop new content. Please leave a like on this video, get them likes up, please. Again, if you have anything that we talk about stood out to you, please leave it down in the comments so you know your thoughts on Peacemaker, Gen V, and the comic book announcements we talked about. We're at New York Comic Con. Like, let us know your experience. And just some quick plugs, people. Please check out our recent Fright Month videos. Again, not as much as we did in the previous years, but still nice. We got The Closet by James Tynion. We got Stray Dogs by Tony Fleeks, and then we also did Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash, and that was dreadful, but we did it anyway. I promise. Please check out, the latest, the previous After Dark after that, the clips, the reactions. Please, Why the Last Man, check that out. We're probably going to be doing that, continuing Why the Last Man next week, hopefully. That's pretty much it, people. As always, we love y'all, appreciate it all. Get home safe. We'll catch y'all next time. All right. Peace.